On a most comfortable 64-degree December night in the desert, the roof is open for a Cardinals-Rams clash that'll go a long way towards determining how the West will be won. Kyler Murray and the Cards continue to fight for league-wide respect. Whereas Matthew Stafford and the Raiders will be battling multiple opponents tonight. Live to the sideline, here's Mr. Salters.
NFL Monday Night Football and WWE Monday Night Raw live watch along reactions live here on YouTube. As always, I'm your host, Encyclopedia Sports, Cooley and Luke 96. Thank you for tuning in and listening. As always, be sure to like, follow, and subscribe on social media. Links in the description below with that thumbs up button. Share hashtag NFL, hashtag Rams, hashtag Cardinals, hashtag WWE, hashtag WWE Raw as well. Chat questions and comments, super chats, super stickers. Always greatly appreciated. Kickoff coming up momentarily on ESPN and ABC, along with ESPN2 for the Manning cast with the LA Rams and NFC West leading Arizona Cardinals, the number one seed overall, also in the NFC at this point in time to close out this NFL Week 14 here in the 2021 campaign. We'll have Steve Levy along with Louis Riddick and Brian Greasy on the call with Louis Salters on the sideline, and then Peyton and Eli Manning for the Manning cast. But then on WWE Monday Night Raw, we have a recap to kick off the show from last week. We will hear from the almighty Bobby Lashley following his attack during the steel cage matchup featuring the WWE champion and Kevin Owens, one of the champ's challengers at WWE Day 1 on January the 1st, and the almighty one, Bobby Lashley, will actually kick off the red brand for the WWE. Hashtag WWE Raw. They are in the land of 10,000 lakes for tonight's episode with Jimmy Smith, Corey Graves, and Byron Saxton on the call. As for a time there, Bobby Lashley, after he lost to Big E back in September via the Money in the Bank cash-in, they have sort of kept him off of TV for a bit. I mean, he had his match at Crown Jewel defeating Goldberg, but ever since then, before Halloween, as the Rams haven't won on the road since that very day as well. We'll get to this matchup in a minute. They're starting to work him back into the fold at Day 1 for the Universal Championship on Friday Night SmackDown. We'll see Roman Reigns defend that title against the Beast Brock Lesnar. But on Monday Night Raw, it was Big E versus Seth Rollins for the WWE Championship. But 2 weeks back, after Owens won the main event via DQ by Rollins, he was added in to make a triple threat. I've said the past few weeks or so, even before they made a triple threat, it'd probably be smart to make it a triple threat, if not a fatal four-way, but I wasn't expecting Bobby Lashley to be in the fold by any means. I was hoping for, of course, Finn Balor, to have Big E, Rollins, Owens, and then Balor as a fatal four-way rather than Bobby Lashley, but we'll see what Lashley, along with MVP being back from his injury he suffered as the Hurt Business manager, his hype man basically, MVP, doing some of his best work here as of late, in my opinion. But we'll see what Lashley has to say. He's wearing a Mark Henry-esque, not a salmon suit, but a reddish orange color to it. We'll hear from Lashley, and then everything else I know for what's going on tonight on Raw, other than they postponed the RK Bro Tag Team Tournament to a later date because of an injury. I don't know what the hell else is going to happen tonight on Raw. I don't, because they didn't announce anything else. Not unless they announced a few late things the past few minutes or so before they went live on the USA Network. But we'll see how Raw unfolds. For the first time in a few weeks, for myself at least, because it's either been in and out streaming-wise, or it won't show at all, and gotta find a recap somewhere, read up, listen, watch, if you will. But on TV2 tonight, it seems to be working perfectly fine, knock on wood. So we're going to watch both Monday Night Football and Raw side by side for the first time in a few weeks. Because last week, with Monday Night Football, the snowstorm blizzard game we saw with the wind howling at a league high from upstate Western New York and Buffalo, with Patriots only throwing 3 times against the Bills and winning. And then off this week, they'll play at Indy on Saturday. We'll have live watch-along reactions of that game next week as well. But then Buffalo losing in overtime yesterday against Tampa Bay. We were only able to watch Monday Night Football last week and no Raw, but did highlight-wise. I mean, we did stay up to date on social media as well, so we at least knew what was going on. But from now until the end of the show, as Lashley's not going to get interrupted, here comes the prize fighter himself, Mr. Kevin Owens, who, as he said a few months back, whether he's going to be in the WWE for another 3 weeks or 3 months, he's just going to keep fighting. And he made it a triple threat. They'll probably somehow fit Lashley into the match, when really they don't need to. But unless they want to save both, or, well, whoever they want to save, I'll say that, 2 of the 3, whether it be Rollins, Owens, and Lashley, of course, with the contract situation, unless he's already re-signed and they're going to do something with him, then not have him lose outright. You know, we'll see what happens. They're going to do what they want anyway. But Kevin Owens interrupting Bobby Lashley on Monday Night Raw. So I'll leave it at that. We'll get back to the show in a minute. But Monday Night Football about to begin as well. Come back from a commercial break during pregame here. Once again, thank you for tuning in and listening. Be sure to like, follow, and subscribe on social media. Links in the description below. We'll have the 8-4 LA Rams at the 10-2 3-point favorite Arizona Cardinals tonight on Monday Night Football from their home stadium. Of course, NFC West rivals play each other twice a year. Arizona defeated the Rams early October by a final score of 37-20. So looking for the sweep here tonight as Rollins now interrupts both Lashley and Owens. So then Big E will come out last, and then they'll have the 4 in the ring for the most part. And then they might have some type of match later on tonight, but we'll see what happens, because they really don't have anything advertised. Digging the new graphics, though, that they've come up with and have been rolling out the past couple weeks as well. Following Survivor Series now on to day 1, January the 1st. Less than 3 weeks away now. But Arizona, they're 7-0 on the road away from home. However, they're only 3-2 at home from State Farm Stadium in the desert. So both those losses were to P teams in the Green Bay Packers and Carolina Panthers. Whereas mentioned, the Rams have not won on the road since Halloween versus the Texans. Win's a win, I get that much, even though that's not saying a whole hell of a lot. But in the end, last I checked, Rams, minus the extra slash following if you write out P. Rams doesn't start with a P. Okay. However, the Cards need a win tonight to stay atop the NFC standings, as mentioned. They're the number one overall seed right now. But a loss would give the Green Bay Packers, who they lost to on a Thursday night primetime matchup, late October, that same very weekend, the last time the Rams went on the road and won, have streamed two of their matchups recently, and both away from SoFi. They went to San Fran on Monday night, and then went to, and there's a fan with a sign in the state of Minnesota with Rollins wearing purple tonight as well. And the Vikings beat the Steelers on Thursday night. Last night, Sunday Night Football, as Aaron Rodgers early in the year, away from home, from Lambeau to Soldier Field, owning the Chicago Bears, did the same last night. Green Bay with a win. As mentioned, if I tie all this up as Big E now comes out, if Arizona loses because of the head-to-head, Green Bay's going to go to number one for the time being. Still a lot of football to be played from now until the end of the regular season, though. There's a sign, guy, couple rows back, right there on the aisle. It says Aaron Rodgers owns Seth Rollins, but Rollins is a Bear fan. So, thought that was pretty funny. Wasn't expecting to see that. First time, yeah. They're trying to get it more in the picture now. Aaron Rodgers owns Seth Rollins. And it sticks out like a sore thumb. It's a white sign with black lettering, so not that hard to miss. Should be an interesting night, to say the least, with what happens on Monday Night Football, Monday Night Raw here. Once again, thanks for tuning in and listening. But a loss would give Green Bay the number one overall seed for the time being because of the head-to-head, as mentioned. LA dealing with some COVID issues. Got a few players out tonight. But hoping for a good game. Both games I've streamed this week as well. Go back Thursday night with Steelers and Vikings, and then yesterday, Bills, Buccaneers. Both games have come down to the final play. So maybe third time's a charm, we'll see. But if I'd have to pick somebody, because the LA Ram COVID issues and the Rams having one on the road since Halloween, which is almost 2 months now, as Postman Adam Pierce comes out in a Green Bay Packer tie. Postman Pierce and Sonya Deville, the authority figures, if you will, on the WWE television screen right now. Yeah, that's pretty funny as well. They're tying a lot into the show tonight, crossing over, if you will. But no, with the Rams not having one on the road in a while, almost 2 months, come New Year's Eve, and then the COVID issues that they have, they'll be without starting running back Darrell Henderson, starting tight end Tyler Higbee, and then Jalen Ramsey in the secondary at cornerback. He's also out with COVID. So, like I said, if I'd have to, even with Cardinals better on the road, undefeated, 7-0, they'll have one more road game around to the end of the year. Then they are at home, so 3-2. I mean, they're 10-2 though for a reason. There's three teams now, including the Cardinals with the Packers and Bucs, who both won yesterday as well. They're the only three teams with 10 wins. Everybody else, of course, has 9 or less. But for the most part, I mean, there are a few teams pulling away, but everybody's still a few weeks to play, middle of the pack, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 wins. But I think Arizona is going to be tough to beat here tonight at home on Monday Night Football. So, like I said, if I'd have to pick somebody, give me the Arizona Cardinals here tonight to defeat the LA Rams. I mean, the two games I saw with LA, as mentioned, they went to San Fran and lost, and also went to Green Bay and lost. Turnovers killed them in both games. They're going to need a fast start. Both teams, for that matter, but more so the Rams than the Cards. But before you even start fast, you got to make sure you're settled down and settled in first off. Looks like LA's on kickoff, so Cardinals back deep to receive. That'll be number 4, Rondale Moore, the rookie out of Purdue. So we'll see how much they get him involved. Cliff Kingsbury, the head coach of the Cardinals. Sean McVay, the head coach of the Rams. 2 offensive-minded coaches, so could have another high-scoring affair, as it was 37-20 back on Sunday, October the 3rd. But then establish your running game. Sony Michel going to step up a lot for the Rams tonight, of course, with Darrell Henderson out. But then James Conner, the former Steeler, having the year of his career this year in the desert with a lot of rushing touchdowns. Don't be shocked if he has a few more tonight. But I feel this game's going to be won up front in the trenches, no doubt about it, with whoever can run the ball better and then stopping the run with as good as both these defensive front sevens are. Whoever can do that, I feel, will end up winning. And then, like I said, the Rams, 2 on offense, 1 on defense with the COVID issues with players out, Darrell Henderson, Tyler Higbee, and Jalen Ramsey once again. But here we go, 1st and 10 from the 25-yard line after the touchback. Murray going to fake the give, and then he's going to roll out and be brought down for a sack of 6 yards back at the 19-yard line. However, we got a penalty flag on the opening play of the game, and we're going to have a hold, it looks like, on the Cards. So Rams, interesting decision to either take the penalty or decline it. Penalty's declined. Rather than a 1st and 20, take a 2nd and 16. So a 4-yard difference, but a loss of a down because of the sack. So, yeah, interesting decision on whether or not to accept or decline the penalty. They decline it. Probably smart. I mean, it's still early. 1 play in, 1 penalty. Hopefully the officials, of course, don't try to control this game. If it's a penalty, call it. If not, don't let them play, as always. But we'll see what happens. We'll see what gives. As always, as well. I'm sure something will. But 30 seconds in, 2nd and 16, got another whistle and another penalty flag, and this looks like either a delay of game or a false start, so they're going to back them up another 5 yards, and it'll be 2nd and 21. So 1 play, 30 seconds in, and 2 penalties, and the Cardinals have a 2nd and 21 back at the 14-yard line. Rams, Cardinals, NFL Monday Night Football, and WWE Raw. We have RK Bro backstage in the locker room talking with one another as they have their gold RK Bro Hall of Fame jackets hanging up. Looks like they're going to come out next, but the tournament has been postponed, so we'll see. We're interesting to see what they do in that regard for them tonight, if they're going to have singles matches, if they're just going to say screw it and we'll just move on and get back to it later. I mean, it's not that bad of an idea. I mean, whoever does, in fact, win will face RK Bro at day 1 for the tag team titles. But they got time. Got a couple more weeks, about 2.5 weeks from now until then, until the show. 3rd and 8. And then Murray finds the former Eagle in Zach Ertz, who's traded mid-season. And the Cardinals get a big first down the middle. Moving the sticks out past the 35. Up next on Raw to be Riddle and, good God, Otis. Come on, give me a break. They need to cut one half of the former Heavy Machinery in Otis and his new tag team partner, Chad Gable, Alpha Academy, if you will. But they'll take a break as Riddle and Orton get into the ring, strike the pose, kicking the flip-flops off as well. But 1st and 10, they get a yard on that play. Cardinals 2nd down and 9 after a slow start with 1 play, 2 penalties, and they're backed up to the end zone, and then a couple decent size plays from the 42, 2nd and 9. Murray looking to throw, going to dump it off near side, complete to James Conner from upstate Western PA, playing his high school ball on the lake. Battled cancer, defeated cancer. A Panther, staying in the Steel City, became a Steeler, and then didn't work out. Signed with the Cardinals this past offseason, and ever since then, he's been lighting it up for the Cardinal offense, running the football and also catching, of course, the ball in the backfield there on that play. And then this pass to another former AFC North player in A.J. Green, who also just came over to AZ this past offseason. That's another first down pickup for the Cardinals, starting to move the ball downfield now, past midfield. As the former Bengal, for the most part, takes over for Larry Fitzgerald. But at the same time, as they traded for DeAndre Hopkins a year and a half ago, Murray, what the hell was that? It was behind the line of scrimmage, incomplete, 2nd and 10. Okay. They would have a three-headed monster receiver if Fitz would have came back. He still technically hasn't retired, so he could if he wanted to, but I think it's a little too late at this point. But you never know. Never say never, but never, as Mike Tomlin once said. Yeah, it was Fitz and Hopkins, and now Hopkins, I mean, they both take over his spot. I mean, it's a little hard to fill the shoes of Larry Fitzgerald for what he's done, but you look at it because Hopkins was already there, pass incomplete near side, 3rd and 10. You know, he just takes another step, whereas they sign A.J. Green basically to take over and replace Fitz, which is not going to be easy. But if A.J. Green does have more than 50 yards receiving tonight, he'll break 10,000 for his career, along with if Stafford throws for more than 100, he'll have 46,000 plus passing yards in the past decade as well. So deep ball intended for, guess who, number 18, A.J. Green, and incomplete, 4th and 10. So the drive's going to stall at the 35-yard line. Now they're going to have a decision to make on whether to punt, pin him deep, or kick a long field goal. From here, it'd be about a 53, 54-yard kick. But, of course, inside, no win factor here tonight on Monday Night Football. Of course, following the game last week in that windy weather matchup, 53 yards, and the kick's going to be up and good. Cardinals on top, 3-0, 10:58 to play in this opening quarter. They drive, score, get points, as Matt Prada still kicking bombs. And up and good. So Prater's kick from 53, good. 3-0 Arizona. Back on Raw, backstage with Postman Adam Pearce and Sonny DeVille, the authority figures on Raw here in 2021, and have been. I mean, it's getting a little stupid at this point with what they're doing, but it seems to me they're just beating a dead horse. And I mean, who else are you going to have, though? That's the thing. But they're backstage with Big E, Rollins, and Owens as they both walk off. Now Big E's talking it over. Looks like they got themselves a little bit of a dilemma. So we'll see what they come up with as an answer on the road to day one. But, yeah, back to what I was saying there with as Otis makes his entrance, Riddle's going to win. He'll beat Otis in a heartbeat. Run laps over the fat ass. But, yeah. Losing Fitz hurt. They signed Green to be alongside him, but then he doesn't return. And hell, he was calling golf for one of the matches just recently, I think. So if I'm not mistaken, right? And then, so Hopkins is still there. They still, of course, have A.J. Green then at that point, who's rather than the 3, now the 2 when he was a 1 in Cincinnati, but he's still getting a lot of targets. Murray's done a good job distributing the football and keeping a balance on offense, and you know, no wonder they're 10-2, but their defense is also top notch. So they also traded for Zach Ertz, who has the catch on that drive that at first kept it alive. And, you know, they went downfield and It's stalled because they got away. I mean, they really didn't even run the ball there, but they got away from just keeping it simple. They decided to go deep on a few straight balls, and they all fell incomplete. So 53-yard field goal, though, when you have a good kicker, I mean, you can settle, but you don't want to settle for a full 60. Eventually, you're going to want to punch it in for 6. So Arizona on top by 3 here, 3-0 Cards. Top of the LA Rams, 10:58 to play here in the first, and on kickoff are those Cardinals. Touchback on the kick, so as they went left to right to begin the game, vice versa, of course, now for the Rams. Right to left across your television screen, radio and audio dial. And once again, thanks for tuning in and listening. So, the former Lion. There are a lot of movement, and there will be once again this upcoming off season as well, with free agency, with a lot of players in new spots, and Matthew Stafford's one of them. He's not going to have Henderson in the backfield to hand off, but Soto Michel, former reliable running back in New England with the Patriots, will tote it. I think, for the most part, a lot tonight. They fake the give to him, roll out, and then into the ground, incomplete. Looked like he wanted to go to Cooper Kupp, his favorite go-to target, but ends up throwing to number 86 and Kendall Blanton, as him and 88 Bryson Hopkins will take over at tight end for Tyler Higbee, who's out on COVID. So see if the Rams can respond and to tie this game up or take the lead. Crowd already playing a factor. Seems like it's very, very loud inside of State Farm Stadium for the field. They also now in Vegas as well do the same thing, even with the turf, but more so the grass. Grow it outside, and then it's on a retractable track, and they roll it in, paint it up as they will also for the Fiesta Bowl on January the 1st. But here tonight on Monday Night Football, this Monday, December the 13th, 2021, we have a big third down. 3rd and 6 officially. Trips on a bunch near side for the Rams. Down 3 at the Cardinals in this NFC West battle. Stafford in the gun, gets a snap down the middle, and it's almost picked off, but then caught. And then they get up. I think they're going to roll this dead incomplete, that he didn't catch it. Nice one-handed snag, and it did hit the ground. That's incomplete. So rather than having to take a look at it from above, they signal incomplete to begin with. So a little miscommunication there with the play, of course, continuing. He was never touched us. That's why he got back up and started running. And then they brought him down, and then the refs rolled incomplete anyway. So Rams now on to punt. Hecker to the 32. That's where it's fair caught at by Rondell Moore. Fixed at 33. So the Cardinals will have a 1st and 10 from there when we return, already with a 3-point lead. So the Cardinals drive after a little bit of a slow start, and then the drive stalls almost 4 or 5 minutes in. Kick field goal, quick 3 and out. Not even a minute possession there for the Rams, and they punt. So Cardinals going to get back with a lead at home. Going to try to extend that lead and control the rest of this game for the most part. And like I said, back to the Rams, more so than not the Cardinals, but both teams in particular. But Rams, especially on the road, fast start. They need that. They're not getting it. Lucky that ball wasn't picked off. But then it would have, of course, been a nice grab, but then it fell incomplete in the ground. So just it might be one of those nights for the Rams again, unless they can get their head out of their ass and just don't let Matthew Stafford do too much. He's not going to run along with throw for over 300 as Josh Allen did yesterday, but run over for 100. That's why you have running backs. And Buffalo, I mean, back to that game, neither team really deserved to win that game, but Tampa Bay did in overtime, of course. If you saw that, or if you tuned in and listened, of course, as well, thank you. But they had no running game in the first half. They'll get to the running game eventually tonight. The Rams will. And so will the Cards. I think more so than not coming up on this next drive, especially the lead. But you got to find a running game. Run to pass, pass to run, balance and consistency, keep it simple. Run the ball, play action, play good defense, rely on your special teams. Arizona did, of course, with Matt Prater kicking that 53-yard field goal. So, open still for a good game. Still early. Still a lot of football left here tonight and also the rest of the year. Coming up at halftime, as always, we'll have first half stats and scores. We'll recap college football as well from this past weekend, including Army-Navy and the FCS playoffs. We'll recap what happened this past week in the NFL as well. Look at the standings, preview next week on top of it, and then get more into what's to come in the near future. So once again, thanks for tuning in and listening. As always, I'm your host, Encyclopedia Sports, Cohen and Luke 96. So we'll sit back and see what happens tonight on both Monday Night Football and Monday Night Raw. Just be sure to like, follow, and subscribe on social media. Links in the description below. And Riddle's about to hit the RKO on Otis. He does just that. Note, reversal off the ropes. And then a big power slam as Orton and Gable are at ringside. 1, 2, 3, and Otis with the win over Matt Riddle. Are you kidding me? Jesus Christ, what the hell are they doing? Makes no sense. And then Orton from behind. He'll hit Otis. No, he won't. He'll hit Gable with an RKO as Otis actually pushed him into Gable, and then Otis hits him with an elbow on a reversal. So Otis going to stand tall over everybody. It might be high on him. Looks like. I mean, hell, he already won Money in the Bank, but I mean, I think that's probably his ceiling. He hasn't done a whole hell of a lot since then, or even before that, for that matter. But couple quick passes, and now 3rd and 9 for the Cardinals, as that was intended for number 10 in DeAndre Hopkins. Just a little too high. He still could have came down a bit, but hit him in the hands and dropped it incomplete. 9:19 to play in this first quarter. 3rd down and 9 for the Cardinals from the 34-yard line. Out of the gun, trip stop your screen, and pressure off the edge. Pass complete near side. Back to Hopkins, and he comes down with it this time on a gain of 10, so they get the 1st and 10. Move the sticks, and 1st and 10 now officially at the 44-yard line. Murray going to hand off. James Conner all starts up front, get a little block to run. Nowhere for him to go. He's stuck to the line of scrimmage. 2nd down and 10. Bianca Belair, the EST of the WWE, even though she didn't establish shit, coming out. And the women's division as of late, it's been, to say the least, once again, for the most part, all over the place. I mean, there's not really, other than Becky Lynch since she's returned, and then, of course, the feud with the match at Survivor Series with Becky and Charlotte, there really hasn't been a whole lot else. But, and that's even with the tag team championships as well for the women, as they switched hands recently. But 1st and 10, another pass down the middle from the 41. Murray looking to throw again, and it's going to be caught by Ertz, who's back out on the West Coast wearing red, as he did in college at Stanford. And he's going to get about 5 yards on that catch midway through this opening quarter. They'll have a 2nd and 5 up 3. And go hurry up from 36. 2nd down and 5. Empty set. Bubble screen near side, complete to Rondell Moore. An all-around player who can beat you receiver, hell, line up at running back, run the football for you. But then even more so than not in the return game. He did it all right here in the Big Ten at Purdue as a Boilermaker. Now in the desert Just giving Kyler Murray another weapon to throw to. And he gets a first down there. From the 29, Christian Kirk in motion. They're going to run an option near side. And he's going to lose about 2 yards because of the bad toss by number 1, Kyler Murray, who is a lot like Russell Wilson, but if you mix them together, Kyler Murray, I think, is more a lot like, not because number 1, I mean, I can understand why you'd say that now with what I'm going to say, but Rams actually jump offside, so I'll hold my thought for a second. Von Miller, 35 yards for the Cardinal offense. He reminds me a lot of Warren Moon. And we had the CFL Grey Cup last night with Winnipeg picking up the win, one of their second straight, even with COVID last year and no season. They technically won 2 Grey Cups in a row, defeating Hamilton on the road in the Great White North. But, Murray, a former number 1 overall pick out of Oklahoma. He originally committed and played for A&M for a minute, and then went and played behind Baker, who was also number 1 pick, of course, the year prior. And a couple weeks back, Arizona on the road, they went to Cleveland and won. They're undefeated on the road. So 3-2 at home. I mean, of course, yeah, you'd want to play at home, but I mean, undefeated on the road this year, that does speak for something. And if they get the number 1 seed or not, especially if they don't, I get playoff football is different than regular season. Right now, I don't think they'd really have a problem. What a catch by James Conner. They'll have a 1st and goal at the 5-yard line. Another big 3rd down pickup. Making it look easy against this Ram defense tonight here in this opening quarter. I don't think they'd have a problem, honestly, going on the road and winning. And maybe getting back to L.A., site they beat these Rams at back early October before the Super Bowl come mid-February. But still a lot of football has been played until then, so we'll see what happens. That's why they play the games, of course, not side on paper, side on the field. What a catch by James Conner. Down the middle, double covered. Nice one-handed snag. Out of the gun, they're going to hand off to 6, and he's got a block near side, and Troy Reeder brings him down about a yard later. Reeder, who reminds me a lot of another former Nittany Lion before he transferred to Delaware in Reeder, and Paul Postlesny, who had a great NFL career with Buffalo and Jacksonville. A lot going on in Duval right now, of course, with Urban Meyer once again on rumors swirling on how he's handled the team and what the future is going to hold, but I think he'll be there. I'm not going to get into that at this point in time. 2nd and goal, down the middle, picked off of the goal line. And just like in Super Bowl 43, James Harrison picking off the Cardinals, we have the Rams picking off Murray. Number 50, Ernest Jones of the Ram defense stepping up. It's either Aaron Donald, Jalen Ramsey, Leonard Floyd, hell, Von Miller, who they traded for, who jumped off sides on this drive. Jones picks it off and then hightails his way out past the 30-yard line on the return. So they'll have a 1st and 10 when we come back. So there's your first turnover. We'll see if they can capitalize. What a drive by the Cardinals, though. And then it sucks for them. It ends in a turnover. You never want to turn the ball over. Penalties and turnovers will kill you. And keep it up. It might cost them, but just luckily it's here towards the end of the first quarter and not at the end of the game, because it was my 2nd Cardinal game covering this year. Of course, first was against the Packers late October, that Thursday night primetime matchup. Remember, late that game, Green Bay's defense just went at them. And then they make the big play at the end of the game. that ended up sealing it, and they won. So it was one of their 2 losses. They lost, a few weeks later to the Panthers, who've had an interesting season, to say the least. Benching Cam Newton once again. But like I said earlier, last I checked, an R is not a P, not unless you don't finish writing the letter. And the Cardinals have lost to 2 P teams in Green Bay, the Packers, and the Carolina Panthers. And they've already beat the Rams once already this year. So what says, or who says, they can't do it again, other than LA? We'll see. But still hoping for a good matchup here. We'll see if they can capitalize off the turnover. But if Arizona's defense, of course, can tell them who's boss and get another quick 3 and out or get turnover of their own, capitalize off that, then okay. Then I think at that rate we'd be in for a good one, even though we already are on paper coming in tonight. But we'll see how this plays out. They got to capitalize, though. They can't go 3 and out again on offense. Stafford's got to play some big boy football tonight. They'll start 1st and 10 from the 32. Trips top of your screen, down by 3. Bianca Belair is taking on Piper Nevin Dewdrop on Monday Night Raw as I speak. Stafford looking to throw, caught far side. OBJ, Odell Beckham Jr., the former Giant Brown, who they signed after he was released by Cleveland earlier this season. Right after the Rams' last one on the road. That was Halloween. Of course, the trade deadline, they cut him that week. He signed a few short days later. Both him and Miller made their Ram debuts on the Monday night matchup against the 49ers, game they got blown out in. And then the second quarter, when they went to Green Bay, was back and forth. There were a lot of points scored. They're coming off a Jaguar win, so 2 of their most recent wins really, as that pass is complete to Cooper Kupp, big first down completion for 15 yards. It's not saying a lot because it's, even though it's a win, and no offense to those teams, it's really not that good enough of competition. Even though, technically they're still good enough to be a part of the NFL, even though they're both, and they'll play each other next week as well, 2-11. So, yeah, LA just hasn't shown me. I don't think they've really shown anybody 7-8-4, other than early in the season. It's been all downhill after they beat the Bucs early October as well. That there's really no consistency. So they do this, but then they just forget how to play football, it seems like, or something. I don't know. So a couple yards on that play. They'll have a 2nd down and 7 after a 3-yard gain officially. Okay. 2 minutes and change to play in this opening quarter. From the 47-yard line, under center is Stafford. Kupp in motion. They'll fake the give. He's looking his way. Going to roll out and then dumps it off, but really nowhere to go. As Arizona's right there to make the stop, push him out of bounds after maybe a half yard if he's lucky enough, maybe a full yard. They give him a yard, 3rd and 6. A minute and a half to play here in the first. Another big 3rd down. If Arizona can get off the field, turnover is not going to mean much then. You force a punt, get the ball back, control the clock going into the second quarter to halftime. With a lead, you're playing at home, get to the second half, find a running game, see if they can run the football when they need to late in the game. It might be over here before too long if this keeps up. But 3rd down and 6, Stafford complete. Cooper Kupp, they get the first down on a completion of 8 yards. So it's been Stafford to Kupp, and probably a lot more than usual, along with Beckham, especially with Higbee out down the middle of the field. I mean, they did try to work their tight ends on their opening drive, but quick 3 and out. At least they're moving the ball off the turnover, trying to capitalize on this drive now. So Van Jefferson's a guy to remember about as well. He's going to be in the slot top of your screen in between Beckham and Cup. Cup now in motion near side. Going to be in the backfield to the left of Stafford as Michelle's to his right. And Stafford actually going to dump it off. Cooper Cup for an 11-yard gain, officially out of bounds. Doing it all right now for these LA Rams. He's had one hell of a year. The former Red Turf alum from Eastern Washington. Mid-round draft pick. Nobody really knew who the hell he was. I mean, until this year, and I mean, a couple years back, he had a good year. That'll do it for the opening quarter. You know, unless you have him in fantasy or you're getting beat by him in fantasy football. Because, I mean, the Rams have all these playmakers. Like, he doesn't get enough credit. I still don't think a whole lot of people know who the hell he is until he actually does something against, you know, their favorite team, and then that'll start a conversation then. But no, he's the number one. Even with Beckham out in LA now as well, Cooper Kupp's the number one receiver. He's obviously Stafford's go-to favorite target. Pull up some stats here for the first 15 minutes of play with Arizona on top by 3-0. Got to run the football, though. Got to find a running game. Sonny Michel, James Conner as well for the Cardinals. Yeah, Van Jefferson's a guy to remember. Keep an eye on for him. He had that was against the 49ers, right? Yeah, that was at Monday Night Game. He had that deep ball for a touchdown. As Beckham really, along with Miller, but Beckham has done a little bit more as of late. They still really haven't done a lot. I think they're doing more harm than good for the Rams, but then still sitting at 8-4 in the playoff hunt, which we'll get a look at the standings as well a little bit later on too. You know, I mean, they're not decoys, but when they're not getting the ball, somebody, I would hope Stafford's going to get the football to them at that point, just get the hell open. But with the COVID issue, I mean, it's more on offense than it is defense with Jalen Ramsey also out. But Rob Havenstein up front on the line's out with COVID too, so all sorts up front and give it a block to run over the pass, no doubt about it. Run your defense, play good special teams when it comes down to it. But yeah, the COVID issues, Sonny Michel's going to step up. Don't really know where I was going with that, but it's still next man on mentality. Standard to standard, you play with who you have. You know, that's why you're on the roster for a reason. So just make some plays. And then, of course, if you're not already getting a lot of playing time, I'd hope you would be getting a lot of playing time then. But it's going to be with Higbee also out, even though they've gone to the tight ends a little. A lot of Cooper Kupp and a lot of OBJ. They're going to hand off near side. And Sonny Michel is going to get inside on a 20-yard run, inside the red zone, down officially, it looks like right on the outside of the 10-yard line. Nice big run. Yeah, brought down to the 11-yard line, it looks like. 1st and 10. So they'll have 8 shots to punch it in. And they should be able, unless they have to settle for 3 to tie it up, should be able to take the lead here. 1st and goal for the LA Rams. Ball to 9, so they gave him a couple more yards, actually, after the run. Toss to him far side, and then he's going to lose about a yard or so back to the 10-yard line. So, 2nd goal, another 3 shots to punch it in, and then we'll see if they can or not. But at the end of one now, early 2nd quarter, Stafford, well, Kyler Murray, because Rams are on offense right now. These stats might change. Murray's 9 of 14 for 94 yards passing and has the interception that's setting up this Ram drive. Whether it's going to result in points or not, we'll see. Second goal from the 10, empty set, 5 wide. Stafford looking to throw, complete the cup, down inside the 5, push out of bounds to the 2. Third goal from there. But the Rams, for the most part, I mean, goal on. They've had to drive length of the field on this drive, whether or not 30 of those yards were on the interception return, and then 70 more on offense here to either tie or take the lead early second quarter with the 2-minute warning and halftime coming up shortly. Third and goal now from the 2-yard line for the LA Rams. See if they can punch it in. I'd go to my tight end. We'll see if they do. Slant over the middle, caught, touchdown. It's Odell Beckham Jr. for 6. And they're going to celebrate. And a 2-yard touchdown pass from Matthew Stafford to Odell Beckham Jr. to take the lead. 6-3, pending the upcoming extra point. And he's lined up by himself. Top of your screen. A little bit of a shiver and shake and right on the money. So the extra point will be up and good, 7-3. And Stafford hits him for a touchdown. They capitalize off the interception. It's actually tipped. I didn't notice that earlier. Okay. Yeah, the ball was deflected on the pick, and they drive the length of the field for the most part. 30 on the interception return from the goal line, and then another 70 on offense. They take the lead with a touchdown. A 2-yard passing touchdown from Stafford. Number 9, hitting Odell Beckham Jr., who now wears number 3. Right on those numbers, on the money for 6. Stafford 7 of 9, 47 yards passing, and a touchdown. Bianca Belair defeats Piper Nevin Dewdrop on Raw, but then an attack post-match from her opponent. Now backstage with a Kevin Owens interview in gorilla position. So looks like he'll be in action coming up shortly. And then he's going to also, of course, be in that triple threat at day 1 for the WWE Championship. And then, also, who knows, he might be on his way out of the company by the end of next month. And then, whether it's AEW, which I would hope so, if that's the case, or if you'd want to go to New Japan, okay. Ring of Honor, of course, no longer in business following this past weekend, but it looks like they'll be coming back at some point in time early next year, in the spring, March, April, May. And then there's really nowhere else, unless he'd be done wrestling for good, which I don't see that happening. He's one of the best out there. Why? Unless he just doesn't have, which I'm a big Kevin Owens fan. Okay, it'll be Bobby Lashley and Kevin Owens. Lashley must win all 3 matches to be added to the WWE Championship match at day 1. So he's going to face Kevin Owens, Seth Rollins, and Big E all tonight, it looks like. And if not all tonight, well, over the next 3 weeks, because they got 3 more Raws, including tonight, before WWE Day 1 on January the 1st, from the 13th, the 20th, to the 27th, and that Saturday, New Year's 2022. Yeah, that's probably how they'll do it. So he'll win the first 2 probably some stupid way. Find him in the championship match to make a Fatal 4, then hell, make it a Fatal 5-way. Add Balor into the mix too. But that doesn't look like it's going to be happening now with what they're doing. But, of course, always change your mind, but I doubt they will. So that's interesting. That's making Bobby Lashley out to be a beast, unstoppable, the almighty himself. If he can beat his 3 challengers, and then, whether or not he wins the title or not at the pay-per-view, okay, but more so not if he would. Okay, I just beat all 3 challengers, in 3.5 weeks' time, and then also beat him, and that was separately, and then I also beat him in a fatal 4-way for the title, and now I'm champion again. Yeah, maybe. And then if they don't have him win, maybe he's going to be your Royal Rumble winner. Who the hell knows? But that looks like it's coming up next. Kevin Owens, Bobby Lashley on Raw. So that should be a decent match. But yeah, I'm a big Kevin Owens fan. I don't see why he'd want to give it up. I can understand why, though. He'd be upset and pissed off with how he's been booked, but at least he's still been on TV recently. But we'll see how it ends and if he's going to stay or not. But second down and 12, and then Murray falls to the ground awkwardly, and then Aaron Donald just falls on him, and that'll be technically a sack for him. It looked like he just slipped and fell. They faked the give, and yeah, he was trying to avoid the sack, and then he saw Aaron Donald on his horse, and he just fell to the ground, and Donald falls on top, and he'll get credit for the sack there. So 3rd and a mile for the Cardinals. But they've been able to convert on 3rd down tonight, so we'll see if that keeps up. They'll have the 3rd and 23 officially back at the 12-yard line. And they jump off sides. That's a free play, but it'll be 3rd and 18 if they don't convert. Murray, deep ball. It's caught to 18, A.J. Green. And they'll huddle up. The Zebras will. And what do they say? Catch. So no penalty. But there is another flag, so they might offset and we might replay the down. We got an offside and then a hold on the offense. Fouls offset, 3rd down. So it'll be 3rd and 23 again after all of that. Wow. So the Rams luck out. The Cardinals lucked out for a time, but then they held, so they shot themselves in the foot and got to redo it. Yeah. Had the offside for sure, and then the hold was questionable. The thing is, holding happens on every play. Matter of fact, they call it or not. They did. They didn't pick it up, so we play the down. 3rd and 23, and then Murray going to run for his life. Pump fakes, tucks it and runs, and then gets to the 20, and it'll be 4th down. So they'll bring on the punt unit the second time, and the holding cost them. They had a free play, and then they didn't because they got the 1st down. But because of the offsetting penalty, because of the holding, replay it, and then they only get, 7-8 yards on that play, so 4th down and long. Back on WWE Monday Night Raw, they advertised the next in line for the NIL as playing the cards right with how they're promoting it, how they've, what's the word I'm looking for? There's really nobody that has stood out as a signee other than the twins from Northern California, but yeah, the advertising, the promotion, how they're gonna book it, WWE next in line, the marketing to it in a gist. There's Gable Stevenson. They are in Minnesota. Of course, he wrestles for the Golden Gophers. He won a gold medal this past summer in the land of the rising sun as well. At the 2020, turned into the 2021 Summer Games for the Olympics. As he gets a standing O. He was the first to sign. He made an appearance at SummerSlam. And a couple weeks back, as Owens looks his way and just shakes his head in disgust, like, you're nothing, dude. Big amateur wrestler. We'll see if it pans out along with the rest of the NIL. Thing is, technically they've signed them, but they haven't. It's hard with the name, image, and likeness. It's like you do this or do that, we're gonna pay you for what we think's right, and then you got to do what we say basically. I mean that's a job, but they're still college athletes. And look at with college football, Quinn Ewers, the quarterback from the Lone Star State, who reclassified this time last year as well as early signing day on Wednesday for college football for the 22 recruiting class. He reclassified last year. He was basically a high school senior this year, but went to school, was a freshman at Ohio State, cashed in for over $1 million via the NIL that became legal over the summer. Played 2 snaps, and when I saw that, I didn't even think he played at all, because I've seen Ohio State play for most every game, but he obviously got some garbage time late early in the season that I didn't remember when I saw it the other day. And he's since transferred to Texas, but he cashed in on the NIL. A lot of college athletes now are. As Lashley goes over to Stevenson, what the hell is he wearing? MVP as well. Go over to shake hands with him. Wearing a black on black rock outfit with the fanny pack draped over his shoulder, it looks like. Stafford on a deep ball near side, and it's going to be batted out of bounds, incomplete. Intended for Cooper Kupp, under 10 to play in this first half. 2nd and 10. But WWE, in my opinion, right now, trying with NXT 2.0 to build it up as homegrown talent, nobody coming from the outside in, and making it as what NXT once was, the mega of indie wrestling. I think they're going a little too hard, blowing out of proportion with the NIL, the next in line, because there might be one, if not 2 or less, maybe a couple more, but I doubt it, that actually hashtag WWE Day 1 for the first time on Raw tonight. Be sure to use that hashtag, make sure. Got a penalty with a pass interference on the Rams. They'll replay the down, 2nd down and long. 2nd and 20 officially, I do believe. We'll look back on it a couple years, and for the most part, none of them are probably going to be doing anything wrestling wise, but you just never know. But I'll leave it at that. At least they have made it official, but I believe that was the first time that I've seen. I know they have it on SmackDown. Maybe they did it last week or week prior on Raw, but I don't think so. 2nd and 20, the handoff. Sonny Michel out to the 42 on a run. 3rd down. First time they've actually made it known on TV that this is what's going on for the company moving ahead. With a lot of questions, of course, to arise in the future as well, whenever, because there's a lot of rumors swirling on will the company be sold. Vince is still in charge, but who's going to take over after him, blah, 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 blah. We'll get there when we get there. I'm not worried about that hypothetically right now. Just worry about your booking and make for some good TV product-wise, and you're not really going to have to worry about a lot, and the rest will figure itself out. But pass complete to Odell Beckham Jr., big first down for the Rams, trying to extend their lead even more now. When the Cardinals tried to at 3-0, they threw the interception at the goal line, and the Rams drove and scored and took the 7-3 lead you see right now. Big E backstage taking notes. He's not even writing anything. He's just scribbling. Rollins was watching backstage as well on the screen. But a timeout. Rams 1st and 10, up 4, 7-3, 8:06 to play in the first half. Nice DDT off the rope by Owens. Cover 1, 2, and a kick out. No, but Lashley hit him with a shoulder tackle ringside. They got back in the ring, had a super kick, that DDT there. But we've gone backstage twice with Big E and Rollins. Says Big E will defend against Seth Rollins and Kevin Owens right now in triple threat at day one for the WWE Championship. But then if Bobby Lashley, whether all three matches tonight or over the next 3 weeks, which would be the smarter idea of the two, if he defeat, as Owens takes a hard fall in the corner there off the top rope, landing on his back, he'll be all right. He's been a wrestler for 15 plus years now, if not longer than that. But Rollins was watching the matchup, and then Big E was as well. Nice neck breaker by Lashley, but E was writing notes. Like I said, you can just tell he was scribbling, wasn't writing anything special. But Lashley, if he defeats Owens, Rollins, and Big E, he'll be added to the championship match, and it'll become a fatal four-way rather than triple threat that it is right now. I mean, if they'd want to kill time, do all three matches tonight, so be it. Go right ahead. I wouldn't be shocked. Back to the NIL thing, Gable Stevenson and everybody else this time. I feel they think right now he's going to be like one of the next big things. He's no Kevin Owens or no Bobby Lashley by any means, even though Lashley and Stevenson have an amateur wrestling background. Stevenson and Lesnar wrestled amateurly in college, both in Minnesota. He's still wrestling at the university, as Owens with a quick tap out, or he said I quit or something. Lashley with a win. Didn't even have to put the Chris Masters lock in on him very long before the match ends. So MVP going to get into the ring, and Lashley now going to celebrate the win. As there's a little miscommunication. Owens might be hurt because Lashley's like, what the hell? Like, I don't think it was supposed to end like that. Yeah, Owens tapped out. He didn't even... I don't think that finish was supposed to be like that. I don't. Who knows? Kevin Owens still in the triple threat, but Lashley still has to beat Rollins and Big E to get in. And at this rate, he probably will, which is a bit unfortunate. But now backstage, Rollins with Sonya Deville. I'll talk it over, but second down following the timeout by the Rams. 2nd and 6 after a 4-yard gain. Sonya Michelle going to motion out top of your screen, an empty set, 5 wide, with 3 to the top, 2 to the bottom, left to right here in the second quarter, midway through. Stafford going to step up as he gets pressured, pass incomplete. Intended for Odell Beckham Jr. again. So Kupp and OBJ getting a lot of targets tonight. And they're trying to find a running game with Sonya Michelle. I think he's missing his check down and his tight end and Tyler Higbee. Hell, he had 2 men wide open over the middle of the field on a slant double crosser to scissor the defense. And he went to Beckham instead and fell incomplete. So now they have a 3rd down and 6. Ball at the 37. Trips on a bunch top of your screen. And a screen to Michelle, overthrown, incomplete. And from here, they'll have a 55-yard field goal. However, we got a penalty on the play. See what the foul is. Penalty is declined. 4th down. They're definitely going to have the punt now. Illegal man downfield. Yeah, you can't kick a 60-plus yard field goal now. You got to punt, pin them deep, make them drive on you. Yeah, that's right there. I mean, the guard. Okay, so the penalties declined because it ended up being 4th down. So they're going to bring on Matt Gay for a 55-yard field goal, which is a good decision. 53-yard, now 55-yard, and the kick's going to be up and good. So just as last week with the wind, we saw a few missed kicks. Tonight, we've had a 53-yard field goal and a 55-yard field goal. Good. And the Rams now lead by 7, 10-3 with 7:23 to play. Yeah, they're okay. The legal man downfield was right there because they ran the screen and the guard was just a little too further on downfield, which can be in that situation. What the hell is Becky Lynch wearing? She's coming out big time. Bex herself, the man, the Raw Women's Champion, getting a loud ovation on Raw. Up next, big time Bex, Becky Lynch on Raw. That's all it says on the graphic. I'm sure she'll probably cut a promo. Somebody's gonna come out and interrupt her, and then with what she's wearing, she's definitely gonna have a match of some sorts. I just don't know who against. Yeah, since that was third down, even with the penalty, of course, it's declined. Fourth down, and then they kicked the 55-yard field goal. And it's good, so 10-3. 10-3 Rams on top of the Cardinals here midway through second quarter is when you're halftime. So once again, thanks for tuning in and listening. This Friday on SmackDown commercial, the Tribal Chief himself, Roman Reigns, will return. Wasn't on the show this past Friday for some unknown reason. Probably walking around naked on a beach somewhere again, but he's going to return. Lesnar in his overalls will be there as well, it looks like. But SmackDown's by far a better show than Raw. And after the draft, I mean, they're more balanced than they were. But SmackDown's still better. I mean, Raw has its guys, because really on SmackDown, it's Roman Reigns. And only Roman Reigns. But Lesnar's back, and I mean, you have a few others. But Raw, the star power they have, like, all of them equals one of Roman Reigns. So it works itself out. Reigns is top dog, no doubt about it. Be sure to go check out, along with my Culture Ball bowl game preview, live here on the YouTube channel as well. All other from this year in 2021 and years prior, we're back to it, attending wrestling events post-COVID, of course. Be sure to go check out videos from events I've attended live with Keller. Anywhere from a house show to a WWE TV to AEW Dynamite, first ever Rampage as well. There won't be any more uploaded from now until the end of the year. Currently penciled in to hit up a few early next year, one a month in January, February, and March. So keep an eye on those videos to be released right here on the channel, of course, post-event. But just be sure to subscribe. Like, follow, and subscribe on social media. It's the easiest way to stay up to date is the fact of social media. As I always say, like, follow, and subscribe. Links in the description below. Scroll down, check out Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and hit that red subscribe button right here on YouTube. A little notification bell next to it as well. And hopefully we'll tune back in for more live watch along reactions as well. Beginning on Thursday with the Chiefs and Chargers. We'll have an AFC weekend next week, if you want to put it like that. We'll have Chiefs Chargers on Thursday night. Saturday Night Football, we'll have NFL Patriots and Colts from the Heartland, and then next Sunday afternoon, Titans Steelers. So this actually might be the last, another thing about it as well, Monday night stream of the year with this Ram Cardinal Monday Night Football game and Monday Night Raw. Definitely not doing next Monday night with the Vikings and Bears, because I'm going to get Minnesota again. I've already got Chicago a time or two. Game really doesn't really intrigue me much. I'll watch it, but I'm not going to stream live watch long reactions. Murray going to step up, deep ball on 2nd and 8 near side, and it's going to be caught at the 20-yard line by Christian Kirk, former Aggie. One to another before he transferred, of course, to OU, but now teammates in the desert for the Cardinals and a big first down completion. Nice throw by Murray. Ball would have almost dropped. It came down with it, though. putting the breadbasket over the top of the defenders, and they get a 1st and 10 at the 22-yard line. Officially. And then in 2 weeks' time as James Conner is going to, or Rondale Moore, 4, not 6, excuse me, gets the give. He gets a few yards in that run. We'll see about the Dolphins-Saint Monday night game. Because early January, we're going to have the final Monday night game of the season, week 17, with the Browns and Steelers. So, won't be the final Monday night stream of the season, but of the year potentially is tonight. We'll see about 2 weeks from now, with, of course, Christmas coming up a week from Saturday. So hopefully also everyone has a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year as well. Becky Lynch back in the ring. She is, in fact, cutting a promo. She's in ring gear. Somebody's going to come out and interrupt her, and she'll have a match. Murray in the end zone. It's caught at the 5-yard line. Instead of Zach Ertz, he hits James Conner. And another 1st and goal. Just don't turn it over now in the red zone. 4.5 to play before halftime. No interception. Yeah. Looked like he was thrown to Ertz, and then Conner caught at the 4-yard line. And now they have 1st and goal. Hit Ertz wide open, threw in a double coverage for Conner, but he still caught it, so. Back shoulder, and is batted down to the line of scrimmage, incomplete. 2nd and goal for the Cardinals. Veer Mahan is still coming to Monday Night Raw, so they say. It's been like 10 years, but he must be on that walk with Lance Storm the whole way from India to Monday Night Raw. So, 2nd and goal for the Cardinals. Raw hasn't been that bad tonight. Probably as always, could be 10 times better. But got some breaking news. The Super Bowl in 2024. Pass near side, incomplete. 10 for Hopkins, over 3rd and goal now from the 4-yard line. The Super Bowl in 2024. So 2 years from now. Not for 56, but for Super Bowl 58. LV 111 in Roman numerals. Will be just north of Glendale, also in the desert, out west in Sin City, Las Vegas, Nevada, home of the Silver and Black. So Super Bowl's heading to Vegas, February 2024. So that'll be the 2023-2024 season. But tonight, to close out Week 14 here in 2021-2022 campaign, 3rd and goal. Murray complete to Ertz at the goal line. Short. They'll have 4th and goal now from the half-yard line. He caught it. Had to come back for it. They'll give him forward progress, it looks like, at the 1-yard line. But they're going to stay out in the field and go for it. 4th and goal. Here comes Liv Morgan. She lost to Becky last week in the main event for the Raw Women's Championship. Looks like they're going to continue this feud, though, and they'll probably have a rematch at day 1. So Liv Morgan, the one to interrupt Becky Lynch, the man herself, on Raw. 4th and goal, Cardinals go for it from the half-yard line. Handoff, James Conner breaks the tackle into the end zone for 6, and we're an extra point away from the tie ball game at 10 apiece with 3:18 to play in this first half. James Conner with another touchdown. Where was the hell this all last year with the black and gold Pittsburgh Steelers? He couldn't run the damn ball to save his life. Now he has a rushing touchdown. And I believe Steve Levy just mentioned off 7 consecutive games, if I'm not mistaken. Stat line, though, he's had one of the better years for a running back as of late. With rushing touchdowns, whether they're from a yard out like that on 4th and goal or 5, 10, 15, 20 yards, hell, even the length of the field. But he celebrates. They give us the video game graphic to go to break with the touchdown for the Arizona Cardinals. But dash points up and good, 10-10, Rams and Cardinals. So Stafford's 8 of 13, 64 yards passing and a touchdown. Kyler Murray, 14 of 21, a $159. Has the interception that he doesn't throw. They could be up 17-3 right now. 13, 17-10 as well, potentially. Give or take a few points. But that turnover has the Rams tied up because they capitalized off it. Cardinals got the ball back, drove and scored as well. So 10-10 is where we sit. It was prior to the 2-minute warning. Stafford once again 8 of 13 for 64 yards passing and a touchdown to Odell Beckham Jr. From 2 yards out. So we have 2 touchdowns from inside the 2-yard line and then 2 50-plus yard field goals tonight on Monday Night Football. 10-10, Rams and Cardinals. Stafford's 8 of 13, 64 yards passing and a touchdown. Kyler Murray, 14 of 21, 159 yards passing, the interception. He's been sacked twice compared to Stafford being brought down yet. But Aaron Donald, credit to him, 99 up the middle, getting pressure on Murray. Responsible for both of those sacks here in this first half. Sonny Michel has 7 carries, 52 yards rushing. Had a few big runs, longest one for 20 there to set him up for that last touchdown. And then Connor with that touchdown as well. 7 carries, 19 yards rushing in a score. Kyler Murray, 2 for 7. And then Rondale Moore on a run, 1 for 5. Special teams, we had a 97-yard punt return. Punt return, not a kick return, a punt return. You never want to field a punt inside the 5-yard line. The last night the Bears did, the former Dolphin and Shaquem Grant, and took it the house. 97 yards, back and forth game before Aaron Rodgers in Green Bay put it to him in the fourth and held on to win. That kick return was almost broken and returning the length of field for 6 as well. But brought down 1st and 10 at the 30-yard line for the Rams to begin this upcoming drive. As they show the graphic with James Conner and Aaron Donald, of course, former teammates at Pitt. Both draft picks to the Rams, St. Louis Rams for Donald, and then now moving out to LA. And then they both head out west, following the Steel City, whether that's college to pro or college to pro for a few years and then move on, because of course Connor played for the Steelers as well, and then they didn't re-sign him. Sort of wish they would have to back up Najee right now, but he's made his mark in Arizona with another rushing touchdown here tonight on Monday Night Football. So pass complete, Van Jefferson on bubble near side, 2nd and 9, gets him the 3rd and about 4 maybe, 3rd down short. That'll probably take us a 2-minute warning though, first off. So that 3rd down and 4 officially, yeah, unless they snap it here real quick. 2:10 and counting. Maybe just try to draw them off sides as well. I'll take a 2-minute warning and not snap it. Yeah. 2 minutes to play, 2-minute warning. Tied at 10. Rams, Cardinals, Ram ball, 3rd and 4. So good game, good event. Becky Lynch attacks Liv Morgan. They'll sell the injury. She'll probably still get a rematch at the pay-per-view, though. Now, what do we got here? I feel so bad for AJ Styles. He's going to be another one potentially coming next fall that might be on his way out. With his contract, signing a 3-year extension, I do believe, in late 2019. Well, time's a-coming, and he might be on to a better company in AEW before too long. But we'll see what happens. They show a recap from last week. Street Profits picked up the win over AJ and Almost. AJ's eventually going to put him over because Almost is going to turn. But that was in the tournament. And Street Profits will win. They'll take on the Mysterios, but that match postponed because of an injury. So that number one contender match, basically, to see who's going to face RK Bros, is going to have to wait. AJ with a new T-shirt, phenomenally done. Is that a sign that he is going to leave? He's going to be done with the WWE. But he is a phenomenal one. Alan Badillion Traherne, AJ Styles. He's going to cut a promo via an interview backstage with Sarah Schreiber on Raw now. As they're in St. Paul, Minnesota tonight. Had Gable Stevenson ringside earlier. Been an interesting night, to say the least. Been a good night, though, for Monday Night Football, Monday Night Raw. But still got, at least another hour and a half, 2 hours or so for both these events to unwind. So until then, we'll see where they're going to continue to trend upward or maybe fall down a little bit. But timeout, 2 minutes to play, 3rd down and 4 for the Rams, tied at 10 at the Cardinals. Arizona, if they can get a stop, get up the field on defense, under 2 to play, 3 timeouts. Try to drive, score, get some points on the board. LA on the flip side, they do something here. They might be able to put this game out of reach early second half because they'll also get the ball to begin the third quarter. That pass complete to Odell Beckham Jr. down the far sideline. He's going to get pushed out of bounds around 25. So on 3rd and 4, that goes for about 40 yards. Simple crosser over the middle. It's Finn Balor, the Prince of WWE. Should have been King, but that went to Xavier Woods, who then got it stolen by the Tribal Chief, who's now also King of the WWE and Roman Reigns, but we'll see what they have in store for Balor tonight. 1st and 10 from the 24 for the Rams. No, 2 timeouts under 2 to play. If they can drive and score here, add on to their lead, do something early third quarter with receiving because they deferred their option and kicked off to begin the game. Score then. 2 field goals, okay, a 6-point lead. Field goal, touchdown, 10-point lead. They can score 2 times. Whether it's those 2 or at best with what they would like, 2 touchdowns. Stafford's a little slow to get up. Took a big hit, be 3rd down. 24-10, third quarter on the road. Arizona going to have to make some plays to get back in it. They can drive and score, but there we might be in for an exciting finish. And like I said, the other 2 games I've covered this week already with a live watch along action stream have come down to the final play, so maybe 3rd time will be a charm tonight and we'll get the same. 3rd down and 5 officially from the 19, empty set, 5 wide. Arizona's going to try to force 2 field goals if they can on these next 2 drives. 2 yards, 4th and 2. Play clock under 40 unless Arizona's calling a timeout. LA, I'd run the clock down, call timeout on my own, and then kick it. Arizona does call timeout, so the Rams are going to have to kick it now. So the Cardinals are going to get the ball back. They're still tied or down by 3 unless they run a fake field goal and somehow convert. 2 timeouts, 30 seconds, give or take, and then still also try to do something before halftime. Might be tied at 10, might be tied at 13. Rams might be on top by 3 at 13 and 10 and a half. And then we'll get into the second half and see what happens. But this field goal from 35 yards out, Matt Gay, good from 55 earlier. This kick's also up and good. Rams on top once again, 13-10 with 35 seconds to play in this first half. Stafford's now 12 of 17. 118 yards passing, has a touchdown to Beckham. Sonny Michel, 9 for 51 on the ground. Beckham, along with Cooper Kupp, have a total of 10 catches of the 12 completions for Matthew Stafford. Blant and Jefferson with the other two, a catch for 6 yards apiece. Cup 6 for 42, but Beckham less receiving or less receptions, but more receiving yards and then also the touchdown. Cup 6 of 42, and then Beckham has 4 catches, 64 yards, and the score. Murray 14 of 21, still 159 in the interception. Connor 7 of 19 in the touchdown. Connor right now also leading the Cardinals in receiving, 5 catches, 49 yards. But we'll update stats and scores coming to the half, along with recapping college football and the NFL from this past week. Preview next week. Be sure to check out my bowl game preview as well. But we're 35 seconds away from halftime, so we'll get there when we get there. But touchback on the kick. Arizona, 2 timeouts, 35 seconds, and 75 yards to go. Hit Pater to retake the lead going into halftime, or at least just try to get in field goal range to tie this sucker back up. So 13-10 Rams on top of the Arizona Cardinals right now. 35 seconds to play in the first half.
The injuries that they've had, and everybody counting them out, saying this is not a team that plays together enough. And tonight, at least on the defensive side of the first half, they've done that.
From the 25, 1st and 10. Murray complete. A.J. Green for 10. Give him 9 yards officially. Brought down just short of the line of gain. They're going to call a timeout. So they'll have 1 remaining with 29 seconds to play. Use the sideline. It's your friend in the situation. Most career receiving yards by active players: Julio Jones, Antonio Brown, Deshaun Jackson, DeAndre Hopkins, and A.J. Green. And those last 2 were both in the desert for the Cardinals. Who would have thought a couple years ago that all those players right now in 2021 would be playing on different teams? I mean, I guess it's just how it works out sometimes, but I mean, a couple years back, I don't think really anybody thought it was the way they were playing. And they're still top receivers. I don't think really any of them are the true number 1 receiver in the league anymore right now, but they'd be leaving their respective franchise and heading elsewhere, whether it was in free agency or via trade, and their former team now getting draft picks for it. But what the hell is this? We got Dana Brooke and Reggie with the 24/7 championship walking around town, and then R-Truth is dressed up as a tree, Christmas tree, and then Akira Tozawa as Frosty the Snowman, and then Tamina out in broad daylight in the center of town as Dana Brooke's going to jump into the snow. And you can tell they're jumping off of a mini trampoline there. They're just trying to hide it with the camera behind the snow pile. Tamina was about ready to suplex her onto the street as they get away with the 24/7 championship. But I wonder what everybody walking by around town was thinking. Probably had to take a double take and think about calling the cops, but I bet you there's somebody there with the official as well. Hey, we're filming something, like, we have a permit, like, don't worry about it. Like, this is just for pro wrestling. You hear WWE, here's free tickets to the show tonight. Yeah, one of those. 1st and 15 now for the Cardinals from the 41. They just called the 3rd and final timeout. We'll have a tag team match coming up on Raw with Finn Balor and the U.S. champion Damon Priest. Maybe that's what they're going to do with Balor. Have him challenge for the U.S. title, which I wouldn't mind that. Okay. But they're going to take on the Dirty Dogs and Bobby Roode, Dolph Ziggler coming up on Raw. Bell rings match underway as they're going to try to zigzag along with Kent State, Ziggler's alma mater, to their game and hope for a win in their bowl game from the Blue Turf in Boise early next week, as the bowl games will in fact begin this upcoming Friday. Be sure to check out my bowl game previews once again. 2nd and 7, Murray running for his life, pass near side, out of bounds, incomplete, intended for DeAndre Hopkins. 10 seconds, 3rd and 7. Gonna have to heave it play hook and ladder, take a knee. Remember, Kyler Murray last year at home, it's Buffalo Bills. And then Buffalo actually had to return to Arizona to play on the road again against the San Francisco 49ers this time last year because the Niners weren't even allowed to play because of COVID in their home stadium. And then COVID issues arising once again in the NFL here this week. Rams are going to call timeout. Okay, just make sure they're set. 3rd and 7 for the Cardinals, 10 seconds. Murray with a Hail Mary to Hopkins, and they won the game. They advertised for the first time. I've known about, of course, the playoffs beginning, no doubt about it, on the third weekend now, of January, with the first being on a Saturday, technically. It'll be the 16th, 17th, and 18th. The NFL is going to flex some games out of some Sunday slots the week prior for Week 18 on a Saturday night, as well as they are this upcoming weekend with 2 Saturday games with the Raiders and Browns and Patriots and Colts. I've known about that as well, but that was just first they've advertised that, making it actually known since the first time they said about it during the schedule release after the draft this past spring. But we just don't know who's going to be playing those 2 games. And then for the wild card round, we'll have 2 games on Saturday, 3 that Sunday, and then we'll have a Monday night game as well. So that's why, like I said, tonight might be the final Monday night stream of the year for the calendar year 2021, because then early January, the 3rd, we'll have Monday Night Football. The 10th is the College Football Playoff National Championship. And then the 17th, that final wild card playoff game as well. And then, of course, with the holidays. But just be sure to subscribe. Just stay up to date, and want to know, I'll be live right here on YouTube. But a little bit of a delay with ESPN for some reason. It cuts out. But Kyler Murray just got the Cardinals in field goal range with no timeouts and 1 second still to go on the clock. It was 3rd and 7. He decided to tuck it and run. Got Matt Prater's field goal range out of bounds around the 30-yard line. So it should be about a 47, 48-yard field goal from there. Now, of course, from the 32, 33, you're looking at 50, 51, 52. But we've already seen a couple of 50-plus yard field goals made tonight, so I don't get why shouldn't be able to make another or anything shorter than that. But it doesn't look like we're going to get to see it, because for some unknown reason, ESPN on my end just cut out. But it should reset here, hopefully, knock on wood, in a second, or else we'll have to pull it up on TV2 and then switch Raw to TV3. Got to do those sometimes, but it should be all right. But we hit halftime. I do know that. Look at the stats here. It kicks up and good. So we're tied at 13. 13 apiece, 13-13. Rams and Cardinals tied at the half. Matthew Stafford, 12 of 17, 118 yards passing and a touchdown. Kyler Murray, 15 of 23, 151 yards passing. Has the interception that the Rams capitalized on. That's really the difference in this tie ball game right now, or else Arizona would be on top by at least 4, if not the 7, with getting in field range to close the first half then as well. But then Sonny Michel has 9 carries, 51 yards rushing, whereas James Conner, 7 of 19 and a touchdown on the ground, but also has 5 catches, 49 yards receiving tonight as well. Kyler Murray, 5 of 43 on the ground, 16 of those to get him in field range to close out the first half to attempt the field goal to tie it up at 13. As at halftime, 13-13 with the Rams and Cardinals once again. Odell Beckham Jr., along with Cooper Kupp, have, as mentioned, 10 of the 12 completions from Matthew Stafford. Kupp, 6 of 42. Beckham, 4 for 64 and a touchdown from 2 yards out. And then Blanton and Jefferson a catch apiece for 6 yards. James Conner leads Arizona in receiving, 5 for 49, and we're back to it with some halftime highlights from NFL action from this past weekend, including the Thursday night Viking win over the Steelers. a blowout Sunday, but then a lot of close games down the wire yesterday afternoon. And then Sunday football with the Packers win, Aaron Rodgers owning the Bears again. And then now tonight on Monday Night Football tied at 13 at the half with the Rams. And Cardinals, as I mentioned, James Conner leads the Cards in receiving right now, 549. Christian Kirk has a catch for 41 yards. Hopkins 2 of 25. AJ Green has 2 catches as well for 25 yards receiving. And then Zach Ertz 3 for 22. I feel Matthew Stafford's missing Tyler Higbee a lot right now because they haven't gone tight ends enough. It's really him getting the ball to Kupp and Beckham. That's their offense. Running game's there. Needs to be 10 times better if they're going to want to win on the road for the first time since Halloween. But another half football to be played. So we'll see what gives coming up in this second half. But at halftime, we are tied with the Rams and Cardinals at 13 apiece. So once again, thank you for tuning in and listening. Be sure to like, follow, and subscribe on social media. Links in the description below. The thumbs up button. Share hashtag NFL, hashtag Rams, hashtag Cardinals, hashtag LAR for LA Rams versus AZ for Arizona. Chat questions and comments, super chats, super stickers, always get appreciated as well. On Raw, no, it looks more Finn Balor is going to be in the... Well, even with the mid-card championship, yeah, but Austin Theory and his selfies, he's up Vince's ass. He is. Austin Theory is. They're using him in a way here in 2021 that really they want to use a lot of people in. You know, he's taking selfies with anything and everything, and it's getting annoying. I've never liked Austin Theory. I still don't. He says, what happened? Of course, he was a distraction. He's getting booed out of the building as the Dirty Dogs pick up the win over Priest and Balor because of the interference by Theory, who, of course, former Evolve talent, was in NXT for a bit. They had him on the main roster and then got into some trouble. Returns NXT, and now he's back on the main roster. He has charisma. You got to give him that. He does. So I feel that's what's, along with his wrestling skills, getting him involved. But, I mean, he's a good heel. He is. You got to give credit where credit's due. But I like Rhea Ripley's shirt. Across her top, it says, "In your dreams," for all us men out there wanting to get you-know-where. But she's in a relationship. She's still in a tag team with Nikki Cross, who's still trying to be almost a superhero. It's been how many months now? How the hell aren't you a superhero at this point in time is what I don't get. But that's just barely treading water, in my opinion. But they're still going to beat a dead horse with it shoved down their throats, it seems like, along with a lot of other stuff they do, to say the least. But I'll digress on that situation for the time being. But in the meantime, we sit at halftime during Monday Night Football, tied at 13 with the Rams and Cardinals. So once again, thank you for tuning in and listening. Be sure to like, follow, and subscribe on social media. Boomer's Best, his fastest 3 minutes, highlighting the games from this past weekend, ongoing, with the noise in the background. But we're going to recap first off some college football from this past weekend, including the FCS playoffs, with a few more games to come this upcoming weekend, so we'll preview that as well. And then they'll have their national championship 2 days prior to the college football playoff national championship on Saturday, January the 8th. There's going to be a lot going on that Saturday as well, a couple weeks after Christmas there. So these next couple Saturdays, we're going to have streams, including on Christmas, We'll have on Thursday, first off this week, the Chiefs and Chargers. Saturday, the latter of the two matchups between the Raiders and Browns and Patriots Colts. So the nightcap from Indy with New England and Indianapolis. Sunday, we'll have Tennessee and Pittsburgh with a live watch along reaction stream live here on YouTube, so be sure to tune in. Then, and then the following weekend, there's a Thursday night game. That's a coin flip right now for myself. We'll see if we stream it or not. Just prior to Christmas on the 23rd with the 49ers and Titans, which should be a very good matchup as well. Said a few weeks back, the next couple of Thursdays we'll be on, and I'm saying now, next couple of Saturdays we're going to be on as well, streaming. And that includes on Christmas with probably the first of the two, minus the Colts Cardinals. Cards night, Colts Saturday. They play each other on Christmas. Well, be a good game, but earlier on that day, it'll be Browns and Packers, which they're both good games, but I feel that would be, and I'm going to watch both, but I feel that would be a better game to watch and then stream as well on top of it. So that's the schedule for now, and then that Sunday as well, it'll be Steelers-Chiefs day after Christmas on the 1-year anniversary. Rest in peace, Mr. Brody Lee. AEW winner is coming on Wednesday. They'll have Hangman Adam Page defend the AEW World Heavyweight Championship against Bryan Danielson. So we'll see who comes out on top but then 2 weeks from there, we'll have New Year's Smash on the 29th. And then there's New Year's Eve with the College Football Playoff, New Year's Day with the Penn State Bowl game, Outback Bowl against Arkansas and the Hogs. WWE Day 1 later on that night as well. And then that following Saturday, the 8th, is what I'm getting at. Talk about the college football playoff national championship game that following Monday, but the FCS D1AA national championship will be that Saturday as well, with the winners of the semis from this upcoming weekend, which we're going to recap the games from this past weekend and preview this upcoming week here in a second once again. But there's going to be 2 NFL games, which we don't know who's playing yet that day. If I'd have to guess, we'll see who they might flex into that spot. I know it's not going to be the Browns or Steelers, though, because Pittsburgh was just on a short week, playing at Minnesota on Thursday night. And then the Browns are going to be playing this upcoming Saturday, so they're going to give them 2 Saturday games in a span of 3 weeks, especially Week 18. I'd hate to be those 4 teams who's going to be playing that Saturday to close out the year with potential playoff bursts on the line. But at least, you'd play that Saturday knowing going on Sunday if you're in or not, if you're in that situation. But then if you need some help, well, then you won't be in the middle of a game playing, and then you blow it yourself, and then they win or lose, and then you just... It's always a tricky situation when you don't take care of business yourself and you got to rely on somebody else to do it for you to get in. But then also that night, AEW, following Winter's Coming, New Year's Smash, then they move to TBS. They're going to have a Battle of the Belts TV special that Saturday night. So a lot going on then. Then the final Sunday of the NFL regular season, that Week 18 on the 9th. We'll see what they flex into 272 rather than 256, of course, with the expanded regular season for the final game of the year on Sunday Night Football before the playoffs begin the following week. So, with all that being said, we'll start off recapping college football from this past week. As in America's game, Navy defeated Army 17-13. Their season's over with. Army will play Missouri in the Armed Forces Bowl. And once again, be sure to go check out my college football bowl game, bowl season preview, live right here on YouTube. However, this past weekend in the quarterfinals of the FCS Championship playoffs, James Madison defeated Montana 28-6. They will now head to Fargo this weekend to take on North Dakota State, who defeated East Tennessee State University 27-3. South Dakota State over the Cats of Villanova by 2 touchdowns, 35-21. And then Montana State, not Montana, who lost at JMU. Montana State beat Sam Houston State 42-19. And then they'll have on Friday night, this will be the question day on Friday as well on social media, a big FCS playoff matchup with James Madison and North Dakota State at 9:15 Eastern Time on ESPN2. Both teams 12-1. Whoever wins will be in the national championship game to take on either South Dakota State or Montana State, who play on Saturday. But then South Carolina State also plays Jackson State in the Celebration Bowl. And give me Deion Sanders primetime and his Jackson State team to win that game, as I didn't even discuss that during my bowl preview because it was not known at that point in time who was playing. But should be a good one on Friday night with JMU and NDSU, as James Madison's been the only team to go on the road to the Fargo Dome over the past decade during North Dakota State's championship title run and beat the Bison. So should be a good one. They both won national championships the past few years as well. So of course, all these FCS teams are playing 2 seasons in a span of a calendar year because they had spring football this past year because they didn't play last fall, of course. But that's from this past weekend, and then also next weekend. And now, since we're back to it here early third quarter, Rams, Cardinals tied at 13 on Monday Night Football. Next, we will recap during the next commercial break the NFL from this past weekend, look at the standings as well, take a look at next week, and then go from there. So we'll get there when we get there, one thing at a time. But once again, thanks for tuning in and listening. As always, I'm your host, Encyclopedia Sports, Cooley and Luke 96. We got a whistle, and we're going to have a timeout not even a minute into this third quarter. See if that comes back and bites the Rams. They'll have 2 remaining here, this final 29-15, but here 14-15 in the third, they'll have a second down. Second down for the Rams. 2nd and 8 officially. On the road. Haven't won on the road since Halloween when they beat the Texans. Coming off of a Jaguar win. In the meantime, in between all that, they've also lost on the road to the Niners on Monday Night Football and at Green Bay. Both games are covered. Tied at Arizona night on Monday night at 13. So after the timeout, 2nd and 8 from the 27. And Kupp going to be in motion. They'll fake the give to Michelle, dish it off out of the backfield to Kupp, and number 10 will get to the 33 on about a 6, maybe 7-yard gain if he's lucky enough. It'll be 3rd and short, 3rd and 2, but a flag comes in. So a lot of whistles early in the half, just as it was to begin the game. Got a personal foul, unnecessary roughness on the defense. 15 yards, automatic first down. I didn't see no foul. Let's see a replay first off. Come on, give me a break. You can hear the crowd's reaction. They're booing. Isaiah Simmons, a former Tiger from Death Valley, he came in with a tackle and accidentally elbowed Kupp after he was already down, so that's what the late hit was. Automatic first down. Stafford going to roll out, deep ball down the middle of the field, in the end zone, caught, touchdown, and guess who? It's Van Jefferson moving on up, and he scores another deep ball touchdown to make it 19-13. 52-yard strike for 6, pending the upcoming extra point. What did I say earlier? Keep an eye out for Van Jefferson, because it's been Cooper Kupp and Odell Beckham Jr. They go to Jefferson, 52-yard touchdown. Capitalize off of the penalty, and a minute or so into the second half, extending their lead. So we might have a good one on our hands. Extra point up and good. Might turn into a shootout here again. Might have a barn burner. Might come down to the final play again. For all we know, who the hell knows? But 20-13 now, Rams. Stafford 14-19. Bucks 76 and 2 touchdowns. One from 2 yards and that from 52 yards. Van Jefferson gives the Rams the 7-point lead, 20-13 here. Minute and a half into the second half. So 20-13 Rams on top of the Cardinals. Arizona going to touch for the first time in the second half when we return. So NFL Week 14, as we sit here on this Monday night to close out the weekend. This was the final weekend for bye weeks, as the almighty Bobby Lashley's coming out again. Looks like he'll have his second of 3 matches here tonight. Already defeated Kevin Owens. If he can also defeat Seth Rollins and then Big E in the main event, he'll be added to the Triple Threat WWE Championship match to make it a fatal 4-way for the title at WWE Day 1, the pay-per-view on January the 1st. So up next, it'll be Lashley and Rollins. Lashley must win all 3 matches to be added into the championship matchup. He's already beat Owens. Rollins up next. He'll find a way to win that, and then they'll have interesting main event with how they're going to close it out, to say the least. But another hour of Raw, another half football to be played here on Monday Night Football, 2013 Rams. But Week 14 began on Thursday night. Steelers Vikings. It was a 29-0 blowout. However, Pittsburgh in the second half came back and made it a game. Ended up losing by 8 as the game came down to the final play. Incomplete in the end zone. Vikings hold on to win 36-28. Thank you if you tuned in and listened to those live watch along reactions live here on YouTube. If you didn't, you can listen on demand, as that'll be 2 videos before this, the College Football Bowl game preview, 3 videos prior to this live stream with the Bills-Buccaneers matchup from yesterday, also on the channel now as well. But also yesterday in the National Football League, the Cleveland Browns coming off of a bye. However, the week prior, they lost at Baltimore, 16-10. They beat the Ravens yesterday without Lamar Jackson, as he went down with an injury early in the game. Browns held on to win, as Baltimore did come back, scored, recovered an onside kick, but 3 and out, turnaround downs, and they lose by 2. Browns with a 2-point, 24-22 win. Touchback on the kick. We'll get back to scores coming up in a second, but a 1st and 10 now for the Cardinals from the 25-yard line, and a father-son duo on opposite sidelines tonight for the Jeffersons, moving on up, as Van's father is the wide receiver coach for the Cardinals, and Van Jefferson, of course, wide receiver for the Rams, who just scored to give the Rams the lead here in the third quarter. So 20-13 LA. 1st and 10, though, after the touchback for the Cardinals from the 25-yard line, left to right, across television screen radio and audio dial. 13:36 to play in the third quarter. Bubble screen, top of your screen. On an empty set 5 wide formation, complete to number 4, Rondell Moore for about a yard. 2nd down. From the 25 again, Murray. It's going to be picked off. And Leonard Floyd down the far sideline, going to get pushed out of bounds by Kyler Murray at the 6-yard line, it looks like. So another turnover. Turnovers killing the Cardinals. We'll see if the Rams can capitalize again. They score a touchdown here, go up 2 touchdowns, 27-13, third quarter. Continue to pressure on defense. Keep it simple on offense. Ball game. That's 2 interceptions, and he stepped out before he got pushed out. So we'll see where they spotted that. But that's 2 interceptions. One's already gone for a touchdown. The second, unless Arizona can hold, force kick, and then a hope for a miss, they're going to be down by 10-14 here because of turnovers. That's on Murray. Where's the running game at? Where's the running game with James Conner? Kyler Murray trying to do too much. Tried to lob it over the defender, and then Leonard Floyd, the former Bear, his Dogs in the college football playoff, taking on Michigan, but yeah. Tipped it to himself, caught it, ran it back, spotted the 19-yard line. So he stepped out 13 yards before he got pushed out. I thought so. 1st and 10, the handoff, Sony Michel, and now with this Ram running attack, if they can ram their way downfield and run the ball when they need to here in the second half with a lead, capitalizing off of turnovers, continue to play good defense, they're going to hold on to win this game. Rollins about to burn it down on Raw, taking on Bobby Lashley. Lashley wins. They'll still have to defeat Big E, and then if he wins that match, he'll be added to the triple threat to make it a fatal four for the WWE Championship at day 1 once again. After a 5-yard pickup, Sony Michel gives the Rams a 2nd down and 5 with 12:22 to play in this 3rd quarter. Empty set and complete to Kupp, and Cooper Kupp gonna get about 4.5, almost 5, but short of the line of game. 3rd and inches. 3rd down and short for the Rams. And then a handoff, Michel up the middle, and he's going to bulldoze his way for 1st down. 1st and 10, new set of downs. All the 1st and goal officially now inside the 10-yard line.
This guy has answered some of Sean McVay's plans as far as being able to go back to the physical run game. And there is no safety net after halftime.
So 1st and goal now from the 8-yard line officially. Under center, Stafford smacks the center's ass, gets the snap, 2 yards up the middle. 2nd and goal from the 6. Keep running it. Run the play action, though. Go to your tight end. This would be perfect for Tyler Higbee right now.
You see Sean McVay staying true to the 6-0 line. Personnel grouping, trying to get bigger people in there, trying to impose his will on the front side of the ball.
So 2nd and goal from the 6. Stafford, balls deflected in the air, got pressured off the edge. Looks like he was going for a fade intended for Beckham, and then Stafford had the whereabouts to run after that football, even after getting taken down, make sure it wasn't a fumble, runs and slides and recovers it just to make sure, rather than it being a fumble and then they recover, it's an incomplete pass. But then if it was a fumble, at least you recovered it. So 3rd and goal now, back at the 9-yard line. So they do say fumble. So he obviously heard the official, and he ran after it and recovered it. 3rd down and goal. Stafford going to step up in the end zone. Deflected, got a penalty, though. Looks like it'll be a defensive hold. He could have tucked it and ran with it. I don't know why he didn't, but then we got a defensive hold. So 1st down. What do we got on Raw? Okay, Lashley's going to win by DQ, so a win's a win. Owens came out. Or actually, no. Yeah. Lashley's your winner because Owens Owens came out and won, or Owens came out to distract. Rollins wins by DQ, but Lashley's still your winner in the end, right? Now we got Postman Pierce and Sonya Deville coming out. They'll probably restart the fucking match. And then that ball is incomplete in time for Cooper Kupp, so second and goal. Yeah, Owens came out and distracted Owens. I'm all over the place right now. Owens came out and interfered with Rollins. Owens, this is a lot, because Owens already faced Lashley, giving us 3 separate matches with the same guy tonight. Like, come on. And everybody's still in the fold. And then in the middle of the ring, they restart it. Spear by Lashley in the middle of the ring. Cover 1, 2, 3. So Bobby Lashley does end up winning. And the Rams score a touchdown in the meantime. Capitalizing now off of 2 interceptions. That's a 4-yard passing touchdown from Stafford to Cooper Kupp. And now make it 26-13. Okay, so originally what happened? Earlier, of course, Bobby Lashley beat Kevin Owens. He still needed to defeat Rollins and Big E, which he still does for the latter of the 3, to make it a fatal 4 at day 1. But then this match just started with Lashley and Rollins. Owens came out, attacked. They rang the bell. For some reason now backstage, Apollo Crews is talking with Vince McMahon. And here comes Austin Theory going to show off his selfies. And Vince is probably going to tell him to get lost. Yeah, the interception cost him, no doubt about it. So Vince kicks out Apollo Crews, and he's going to show him his selfies. And Vince is like, all smiles, okay. Where's the $1 million egg at? That's what I want to know. Of course, they only did that for about a week or so because of Red Notice, but...
So if that goes 85, that makes you...
Theory gets a little too far ahead of himself. He wants to do too much. He wants to be here, there, do this, do that. Gotta hold off and hold back. Vince is no, shaking his head. Hell, Theory got a championship match a couple weeks ago, didn't he? When it was supposed to be Sami Zayn because he found out who stole the egg, but then Vince was like, nobody likes a rat. So, yeah, Owens got involved, attacked Rollins. They rang the bell. A lot of confusion there. That's a Rollins win by DQ. Or a Lashley win by DQ, excuse me. So Lashley's still your winner, but then they don't want to have it end like that. Rollins would have won by DQ because he got attacked. But Lashley didn't do a damn thing. It was Owens because they're still continuing that. It's hard to explain. Like if you're watching, you know if you know it. That's what I said earlier. Like it's been a decent Raw, and then something stupid like that just to get people to talk, it throws it off course, and it's still not, I don't know, it's not trending downward, so to speak, but it's Vince is going to pull something out of the table. What do we got? It's a pencil. Vince has a pencil. What the fuck? Why does Vince have a number 2 pencil? Does Vince want Austin Theory to sharpen his pencil for him? Or is he going to teach him how to write? Is Austin Theory going to go from being a selfie-taking son of a bitch to number 1 best-selling author? Maurice on Monday Night Raw, getting her own entrance, no Miz. So they're going to get her back into the fold in the women's division. Okay. Hell yeah, give me Maurice. It's a little cold outside right now. Touchback on the kick. Okay, we'll have Miz TV up next. Special edition with Maurice. And then somebody's going to interrupt. We'll see who it is. Touchback on the kick, the Rams on top by 2 scores because of 2 turnovers they've been able to capitalize on. 27-13 Rams on top of the Cardinals right now. Monday Night Football. So they restarted the match with Lashley and Rollins after Pierce and DeVille came out. Once again, I feel people, I know I am, at least at Sonny DeVille, getting tired of seeing them say this or say that. But like I said, authority figure-wise, who the hell else are they going to have do it? Like, there really isn't anybody, but it's just what they're doing. They're going to do what they want anyway, so it is what it is. We live with it. But they restart the match because it can't end the way it did. And long story short, and then Lashley hits a spear and Rollins 1, 2, 3, and Bobby Lashley wins. So what Miz TV coming up next, and then main event will be Lashley and Big E, and if he wins, as he's already defeated Owens and Rollins, he'll be added to the triple threat to make it a fatal 4-way. Third down, third and officially 5. Third and medium for the Cardinals, down by 14, 27-13 here, 8:15 and counting to play in this third quarter. They're going to have to make a few big plays now, not turn the ball over again, because this might get out of hand here before too long if it keeps up. An empty set, he's going to throw again. Steps up, and it's caught. James Conner out of the backfield gets to the 43-yard line. Another big first down for the Cardinals. Able to capitalize on third down a lot tonight, but it's the turnovers that are killing them. That right now is going to come back and bite them in the ass, and that's why they're going to lose. Or why they're losing, and probably will end up losing because of it. Bubble screen complete near side, and A.J. Green for about another 5-6 yards if he's lucky enough. Second medium. Still recap NFL Week 14 preview next week. Look at the standings as well, so stay tuned. 2nd and 4 officially after passes for 6 yards. And from the 48, Murray complete for another first down to guess who? A.J. Green. 7 yards on that reception. So make it 6 for 50. So he's now in his career with over 10,000 receiving yards. So congratulations to him. From the 46, Murray looking to throw again, going to dump it off to Conner. And James Conner going to make a few men miss, bulldozes his way, lowers the shoulder at the 40. And be 2nd down and 4. Back to it on Raw. Looks like they're going to have some type of celebration on some champagne in the ring. And Maurice back in some French-Canadian country in the land of 10,000 lakes. But Maurice back into the fold, Miz and Mrs. She's going to introduce her husband, Mike the Miz Mizanin, whose name is not Maxwell Jacob Friedman, but Murray tucks and runs, 2nd and 3, about a 15, 20-yard run there to the 22. Be 1st and 10. Knocking on the door, trying to get back in this game and cut the lead. And Monday Night Raw has just become awesome. Here comes Miz. He's back from his Dancing with the Stars competition. Rondell Moore on the run. Right down at the 16-yard line, so it'll be 2nd down and about 5 again. His Browns beat Baltimore by 2 yesterday, as mentioned. We'll get back to updated stats and scores momentarily, but he's going to face Edge at day 1. He's going to face Edge at day 1, which should be a good match, to say the least. Edge will find a way to win it somehow. Murray in the end zone, deep ball, back corner near side, and 10 for AJ Green, incomplete. 3rd and 4. So Miz going to cut off Maurice, take over Miz TV now. But an interesting duo for Edge and Miz to be facing off against one another. Because I feel, of course, they fired John Morrison and Taya Valkyrie from the 16. They never really, with Miz and Morrison this go around, even with as much as they did, they never got to finish it because Miz went on to do Dancing with the Stars, and then he comes back and Morrison's gone by that point. So what do you do with him? You got to get him back on TV somehow, and unless they're going to push Miz, which I feel they're going to push Edge before they push Miz again. Because Miz, I mean, he just got to push. When was it? Actually, this time last year, because he won Money in the Bank from Otis at Hell in a Cell last October, then cashed in on McIntyre Elimination Chamber before he lost a week later to Bobby Lashley, who held it for a good 6 months before he lost to Big E back in September. As Monday Night Football began, here we are, Week 14, Monday Night Football, Rams on top, 4th down and 2 for the Cardinals, trailing by 14, 27-13. And it's because of the turnovers. It is the difference, no doubt about it, yeah. The cycle has come around. It's come full circle. After Big E cashed in, he's held the WWE Championship ever since. Miz, of course, went to do Dancing with the Stars. Bobby Lashley's back into the fold. But then you also have following the draft with Rollins and Owens, who were both on SmackDown together, both on Raw now, together as well. A triple threat for the time being, might be a fatal 4-way. Coming up with the pay-per-view, you have Edge back, who just beat Rollins. And then you have Miz back, but there's no John Morrison. So they put them together, they're going to face off, and Miz, in the meantime, he looks like he's going to introduce himself into the 2022 WWE Hall of Fame, which he's an A-lister. He's a future Hall of Famer, but active, no. But they run a Hall of Fame class of 2022 for The Miz to be enshrined. And that's fake. That's not for real. That's not now. Of course, they're fake crying, and Edge is going to come out and interrupt and talk about being a Hall of Famer and coming back from, being injured and all that. So, that ball was batted in the air, almost caught on a 4th and 2, falls incomplete, and a turnover on downs. Or the Cardinals probably should have kicked it and took the points, trailing by 11. Only needed a touchdown, 2-point field goal, then to tie at 27 if they can hold. But now they're still down 14, still need 2 touchdowns to tie it. And the difference is the 2 interceptions that the Rams capitalize on to take the 2-touchdown lead. But unless the Cardinals can get off the field, the Rams are just going to add some more points to the scoreboard and probably win this game when it's all said and done. So I would have kicked it there. I mean, you already have, both teams do, 2 field goals. Both teams, one from 50-plus out, and then the others from less than that. Kick it. Take your points. Now you're going to be hoping you get off the field and hoping you can score and get back in this game faster, not than you normally do, because they can score, but just for Arizona, hopefully not having that field goal. Probably should have kicked it and took the points. Come back and bite them in it. Be interesting to see if it'll be a 3-point differential with the final score or not. But yeah, that's where we're at right now. So they go for it, don't get it. Edge comes out on Raw. Looks like they'll have another promo back and forth in the middle of the ring on Miz TV. And yeah, it was intended for Hopkins, and he dropped it. He had it, and then he dropped it, and then he threw his helmet on the sideline. So turnover downs, 1st and 10 for the Rams from 13-yard line. We'll continue to update with what happened this week in the NFL. Once again, coming up shortly, so stay tuned. We'll get to it in a second. Empty set. Stafford once again looking to throw down the middle. Has a man wide open. And that is one of his 2 tight ends, not named Tyler Higbee, of course, because he is out injured. But that was number 86 in Kendall Blanton, who's been the only tight end for the Rams tonight. His second catch now for 20-plus yards. And that's total as well. But a big first down pickup as Stafford's lighting up. He's playing damn good tonight. They haven't turned it over. They have not turned it over, unlike the Cardinals, who have turned it over twice, and that's the difference. Don't turn the ball over, we're tied at 13. So 1st and 10 from the 37, roll out, hitting Cooper Kupp in the flat. 4-yard pickup for him, 2nd down and 6, 3:43 and counting to play in this third quarter.
A turnover circuit every day, emphasizing ball security on offense, taking away the football on defense. What is happening here tonight? They're giving the ball away offensively, haven't gotten any turnovers defensively, and they need one in the worst way right now. They need some CPR.
So from the 41, 2nd down and 6. Jefferson going to be in motion, and they'll hand off Sony Michel. And nowhere for him to go. Stuck to the line of scrimmage, 3rd down and 6. Get off the field. Drive and score. I mean, that's basically 3 drives with turnovers for the Cardinals. That's the difference. 2 interceptions, they capitalized, and then the turnover on downs, which is still a turnover. It's just not a turnover. It's a turnover on downs, but it's still giving the ball back to their team. And they, if the Rams can capitalize off of this again, make it 30, 34-13, I mean, into the 4th quarter, Arizona just not doing as much as they were early. And they really weren't even doing a whole lot early, but just the turnovers. Stafford pump fakes, gets taken down on the sack back at 30-yard line. So they will go off the field. Rams are going to have to punt, so they're still going to be down 2 scores. But going into the 4th quarter, Arizona's still going to have to make some plays when we get back in this game. It'll be interesting. I mean, time might be on their side, but it also might not be. It's just going to depend on how fast they can score and if they can continue to get off the field on defense and not turn the ball over. Because if, hey, 3rd time's a charm, turn the ball over again, you're just putting yourself in a position you don't want to be in. So from the 26, they fair catch it. 1st and 10 Cardinals from there, 1:45 to play in this 3rd quarter. Down by 14, 27-13 your score. The Rams on top here on Monday Night Football. On Raw, Miz TV, we have Miz with the champagne bottle attacking Edge. And then they clear the ring, but then Edge was going to go for a spear. Maurice gets into the way, and then Miz hits a skull-crushing finale. So I said a couple weeks back, and this was even before, like I said last week, I don't even want to take credit for it, but this was before Beth Phoenix has resigned from NXT. When's she getting back into the fold? I mean, that's just the writing on the wall, just a matter of when. Because with Miz and Maurice, now Miz and Maurice are arguing, but is she going to turn on him? She just helped him out. She slaps him. Maurice turning on the Miz. What the hell? And she walks out. So maybe no Beth Phoenix at all. Or even if they do bring Beth into the fold, Miz is going to be down one. And then he's going to be begging his wife on his hands and knees to come back to him. So they got some issues right there. Back to it. Sorry for the technical difficulty with a buffer, disconnect and reconnect. Didn't miss much. That was just a couple second delay there. But we're still up and running. Live watch along reactions live here on YouTube. NFL Monday Night Football and WWE Monday Night Raw. Big E backstage. Kevin Owens and Seth Rollins walk up as Bobby Lashley also getting warmed up. Looks like the main event to begin coming up shortly. We'll have, if Lashley wins, a fatal four-way at day one for the WWE Championship. But back to it, minute 45 to go on Monday Night Football as well. Cardinals 1st and 10 after the fair catch on the punt. From the 27, Connor up the middle and about a yard. About a 1 second differential between the game clock and play clock right now. But now 2nd and 9. Yeah, going in the fourth, unless they score by the end of the quarter, which I doubt they will. Down 2 scores, 2 timeouts for both teams. Time really not going to be on their side. It seems like now, especially they're going to start turning the ball over more. Pass complete, Rondale Moore down the far sideline. And they say catch, 1st and 10. And Sean McVay's right there about ready to challenge it. Has his challenge flag in hand. Getting a call from up above. And after discussion, they say incomplete. Yeah, his left foot was out of bounds, incomplete. So the Rams aren't even going to have to challenge that. It was right in front of Sean McVay, too. So he had eyes on it from the start. And, yeah, that's incomplete. You're going to have to back up. Go back to where you were, 3rd and 9.
Think about the last 24, 48 hours for Sean McVay and what he's had to do. You know, when we did the game against the 49ers, he lost Robert Woods late in the week, and it just got Odell, and had to change that entire game plan. I think there was even more tumult this week for Sean McVay and all of these players out of this game and him having to adjust the game plan with very little amount of time. It's been really impressive what they've been able to do to come out and execute under these conditions, especially that Jalen Ramsey piece.
From the 28, Murray going to have to roll out near side. And then he's just going to heave it. And it's somehow caught at midfield. A.J. Green, what a grab. Holy hell. They have a 1st and 10 now at the 50, under a minute to play in the 3rd quarter. So screw the big completion down the far sideline that fell incomplete because he was out of bounds. No challenge. They overturn it just by huddling up and saying that it wasn't a catch before it went to replay. 3rd and 9, he rolls out, running for his life, and just throws it up, and A.J. Green somehow catches it. 1st and 10 now, officially at the 49-yard line. And about a 6-second differential now between the play clock and game clock. So this will be the final play of the quarter right here. 1st and 10. Murray dumps it off far side. Complete. And a flag. But Hopkins gets the 1st down. 11 yards on the reception. 2 seconds to play in the 3rd quarter. But we got a hold. 10 yards, they'll replay the down. 1st and 20. Jesus Christ. Penalties and turnovers killing the Cardinals tonight on Monday Night Football. Wow. Yeah, that's a good call. I mean, well, maybe a little bit, but not much. Donald ended up just falling to the ground, but clock rolls with the penalty. End of the 3rd quarter night of Monday Night Football with a half hour to go on Monday Night Raw as well. Main event to come up shortly with Big E and Bobby Lashley. 1st and 20 for the Cardinals to begin the 4th and final quarter of play at home, down 14, 27-13 against the visiting LA Rams. If Arizona loses, they're still going to be in the top spot in the West. okay leading the division, but they won't be number 1 overall in the NFC. That'll go to Green Bay because they won the head-to-head back late October. But then the Niners are sitting at 7, 6, and 3rd place, and the Seahawks have won a few in a row now, bring up the rear, but they're only 1 game back in the playoff hunt. So the NFC West, to say the least, regardless of what happens in this final 15, will be interesting. So it's going to be a wild finish for this regular season. More so than not, probably in the AFC and the NFC, but the NFC's as tight, if not tighter. Not by much, but everybody, like I said, there's a few teams standing-wise, which we'll take a look at right now, that I bring it up, that are starting to pull away. There's only 3 teams with 10 wins, and they are, in fact, the Arizona Cardinals, who are 10-2. The Packers and Bucks are 10-3. And then it's New England, Tennessee, Kansas City, and Dallas as your 9-win teams. The Rams, Ravens, and Chargers all have 8. Colts, Niners, Bills, Browns, Bengals, and Broncos all have 7, Pittsburgh has 6, but they should have 7, but they have that tie against Detroit, of course, 6-1, which that could have been a win, but it also could have been a loss, but it's a tie. So for the time being, it's helping, but also hurting them. So we'll see how much in the end, whether they take care of business or not, and more so than not if they do, and they're right there in the playoff hunt, which they still are, following their loss at Minnesota on Thursday night. If that tie is going to help them even more or hurt them even worse. But everybody else then has, 4, 5, 6 wins. There's only been 4 teams eliminated from the playoff contention, and those are, in fact, the Lions, Jaguars, Texans, and Jets, but that was, for the most part, expected this year. The next few are going to be the Bears and Giants, and then it'll be interesting to see what happens with Seattle, Carolina, Miami, the Raiders, the Saints, and the Falcons. I feel New Orleans is done for, but maybe not. And then you have Philly, Minnesota, Washington as well. But then AFC-wise and NFC-wise, 2nd and 5, as this is an NFC matchup. I mean, this week we had 2 crossover games in the NFC West Monday night game. And then next week, stream-wise, will be all AFC, as mentioned earlier, so be sure to tune in. But that's why these games are played. It's not side on paper, it's side on the field. Anything can happen on any given day. So, 1st and goal for the Cardinals, trying to cut this lead early 4th quarter. But I feel the NFC West and the AFC North are probably going to be the 2 divisions to keep an eye on. As handoff, and James Conner with his 2nd rushing touchdown of the night. 27-19 now. Rams on top of the Cardinals, pending upcoming extra point by Arizona. 13:38 to play. Yeah. A Wildcat as Murray lined up out wide. A direct snap. A couple blockers. And he gets into the end zone for 6. Touchdown, Cardinals. He has. And Pittsburgh's missing it with him, but he really couldn't run the ball when he was with the Steelers to begin with anyway, so what the hell? And I think it'd be nice to have him backing up Najee and give him a 2-headed monster, and maybe they'd be able to run the football, and then maybe they have a few more than 6 wins right now. But Steelers host the Titans on Sunday. Standing-wise, though, actually, let's continue to recap this week, and then standings, then preview next week. So, 27-20 Rams. I'll get the ball back on top of the Cardinals here, 13.5 to play on Monday Night Football, with the main event of Monday Night Raw to kick off shortly with Big E and Bobby Lashley. And if Lashley wins, as he's already defeated Owens and Rollins tonight, needing to defeat all 3 in order to make the Fatal 4-Way for the WWE Championship, at WWE Day 1 on January the 1st. If Lashley beats Big E this next half hour, he'll be added to the match, and we'll have a 25% shot of winning the WWE Championship at WWE Day 1. But we left off for Week 14 here in the NFL with Monday Night Football here in the fourth quarter, 27-20 LA on top of Arizona. It began, as mentioned, on Thursday Night Football with the Vikings defeating the black and gold Pittsburgh Steelers 36-28. Also yesterday, where we left off, the Browns defeated the Ravens by 2, 24-22. The Titans shut out the Jaguars 20-0. There's some tension once again in Duval with the Urban Meyer-led Jacksonville Jaguars. We'll see what the future holds, but they've since been eliminated from playoff contention now with the loss. They're going to have a winnable matchup next week against Houston, so whoever wins that, I think Houston's going to be looking for a new head coach next year anyway. Whoever wins that, the head coach is going to be safe for the time being. But in the end, Houston's going to be looking for a new head coach. Urban might be there next year. Right now, I don't know. He might not, though. We'll see. They might rehaul the staff, might sign some players, draft some players that, you want to think will be on a team of his, but something's got to change, it seems like. Even at, what are they now, 2-11, looking for a third win going into Week 15. They've lost, 5-6 in a row now. Nothing really going their way. They need to fix something. Whether that's changing this or that, they need to do something about it. We had a scoregami yesterday as well, with the Chiefs defeating the Raiders 48-9. 50 years following Andy Reid winning the punt, pass, and kick competition, as he picked up another W as head coach of the Chiefs against the Silver and Black as they sweep the Raiders this year. The Saints defeated the Jets 30-9. Dallas held on to win. They're up, 24-0. Almost blew it. Won 27-20 over Washington. They'll meet on the Sunday after Christmas on Sunday Night Football. Dallas, I think, probably safe to say now, unless they blow it from now to the end of the regular season, they should win the division. Washington's in the mix for a wild card, so they both could make the playoffs, but I think Dallas, especially with the win, getting to 9-4 now, should be okay. Should be safe to say they'll win the NFC East. As every year anyway, a different team wins that division every other year. So, yeah. Dallas with a win 27-20. Atlanta defeated Carolina 29-21 as Cam Newton has been benched now once again in his return to Charlotte. Seattle shut out Houston in the second half, won by 20, 33-13. Got a second and 11 from the 24-yard line for the Rams, up 7 here, under 13 to play. Stafford looking to throw. Far side has a man, Odell Beckham Jr., first down completion. Also yesterday, in honor of Demaryius Thomas, who passed away last Thursday, the Broncos, in their score, put up an 8. They win 38-10 over the Lions. Of course, they lined up to begin the game with only 10 on offense. And then Detroit declined the penalty. They had a 1st and 10 still. Of course, meaning he was there with them in spirit on the field to begin and throughout the game in the win as the 11th man. But rest in peace, Demaryius Thomas. Broncos win 38-10. Chargers won over the Giants. So both LA teams looking to win now this weekend. Got a flag on the play on a completion near side. Got a hold on the Rams, though. 10 yards, they'll replay the down. Be 1st and 20. Yeah, the Chargers defeated the Giants 37-21. Rams on top of the Cardinals right now 27-20 on Monday Night Football. A couple overtime games yesterday as well, late during the 4 o'clock window. Saw both of these finish up with the 49ers defeating the Bengals 26-23 on the road in OT. As the call was short, then they overturned it, touchdown, game's over. 49ers with the win. And then the Bills and Buccaneers, that game here in a second, 1st and 20 from the 32. Stafford going to roll out near side. Deep ball on a comeback, finds Cooper Kupp. Wow. Right on the money. Another big first down conversion for the Rams. Forget the penalties. We're just going to go deep on you and beat you. Throws across field. And Cooper Kupp with a hell of a catch. And another few 5-6 yards on Yak. And 1st and 10 now for LA. Looking to put this game away. They scored touchdown here. 2 minutes, or 2 timeouts and the 2-minute warning for the Cardinals, excuse me. Down 2 scores again, you're just trading points. This would be the dagger. They blow it dead. Got to delay a game. 1st and 15. So they'll replay the down again. No, but Bills, Buccaneers, Tampa blew a lead. They're up 24-3 at halftime. Buffalo tied it up at 27-4 OT. They went 3 and out, and then Tampa with a 58-yard touchdown from Brady to Sean Perriman for the win. Neither team really deserved to win, but Tampa Bay ended up winning, giving Buffalo their 2nd straight loss to a Belichick Brady-led squad. Of course, following their Monday night loss at home last Monday night against New England. End around to Van Jefferson near side, and he's going to get those 5 delay game penalty yards back to the 19. That'll be 2nd down and medium here, 10.5 to play. Once again, touchdown seals it, I think. Field goal, Arizona's still in it, but down 10 with 10 to play, still going to be tough. You're going to have to score and get off the field on defense and hope to tie it or score again and win the game then. Stafford in the end zone, overthrown. Got a flag, and we're going to have a pass interference. And we'll see who this is against, whether or not LA or Arizona, but it's a PI for sure. Pass interference on the offense on Van Jefferson on a push-off. They'll replay 2nd down. That's a big penalty. Of course, if it was on Arizona, the ball would be spotted at the 1-yard line because it happened in the end zone. But, yeah, he pushed off. And then Stafford's throw wasn't even there anyway. It was overthrown, and he still wouldn't have caught it. So a costly penalty, just a stupid one. And 2nd and long. 2nd and, well, not that long. 2nd and 15. But penalties costing them on this drive. Looking to close this game out. And they give it to Kupp, and he gets to the 22, so they'll have a 3rd and 8, 3rd and 7, 3rd and 8. Yeah, Cooper Kupp. Talk about all the receivers earlier. Right now, he might be the best receiver in the league. Because he is leading the league in all the categories he needs to be leading the league in. And receptions, receiving yards, and receiving touchdowns. So, as a receiver, if that's not saying something, I don't know what is. From the 22, officially 3rd and 8. Okay, slant over the middle. Guess who? Cooper Kupp gets the Rams back inside the 10-yard line, right at the 10 actually, 1st and goal. As he's going to have over 100 yards receiving here. Hell, maybe over 200 by the time the night's done, but Stafford's lighting it up. He's picking them apart. It's Kupp, it's Beckham. Just imagine if he still had Higbee, which he'll get back eventually, but not playing tonight because of COVID. And they have a running game compared to, even with the 2 rushing touchdowns by Arizona, they're from short goal line situations. They don't really have a running game. They can't work the clock. And the turnovers is the difference. That's absolutely killed them. And another handoff to Sony Michel up the middle. He gets to the 6-yard line, so a 2nd down and goal. Work the clock. 5-second differential between the game clock and play clock. work the clock. Don't snap this until about 8:08 to go. And then if you don't get in, wind it to 7.5 and don't get it, well, you're going to have a decision to make on whether to kick it or go for it. I'd probably kick it and take my points. Because this goes back to Arizona kicking the field goal then as well. They probably should have kicked it rather than go for it on 4th and 2. Because they're going to be down 4 and then touchdown would all they'd need to win rather than tie. But the turnovers have killed them because they don't turn the ball over twice. They have a 7-point lead right now with 8:04 to play. That pass over the middle, incomplete, back in the end zone, 3rd and goal. And this might be the play of the game right here because if they score, it's over. 2 timeouts, under 8 to play, plus 2-minute warning, no. There's no way in hell Arizona comes back and wins it. But if they can force a field goal, and then it goes back to the turnovers, Stafford goes down the sacks, they're going to have to kick it from the 15. He wants a face mask or a horse collar, he's not going to get it. Be 4th and goal from the 15, they'll kick it. Yeah, this is going to go back to the turnovers and then not kicking it because they would have kicked it rather than go for it on 4th and 2. They don't be down 4, kick it, down a touchdown, tie it up then. But then now you're going to be down 10. But then if you still don't turn the ball over, you have a lead. And then LA's in the decision. That's a face mask. They didn't call it. That's a missed call. Wow. That's an automatic first down, too. 33-yard field goal. Kicks up and good. 30-10. Yeah. Because if LA's down, they're probably going to go for it there on 4th down and goal rather than kick it. But still 2 timeouts, 2-minute warning. They'd only be, down either 4 or 7 as Arizona would have been too. So it would have won either way then. Looks like, yeah. It's going to go back if Arizona loses this game. I'm telling you right now. To the 2 turnovers. That's 14 points. They have a 4-point lead if everything else goes the way it did. Along with not kicking it on 4th and 2. Because they'd only be down 7 rather than 10. And that might be the big difference on why they lost the game. But you still can't turn the ball over and have all these penalties go against and expect to win. So, I mean, Arizona just done it for themselves, to be honest with you. 30-10, though, Rams on top of the Cardinals with 7:20 to play here tonight on Monday Night Football. Talked about the overtime games from yesterday. And then last night, Sunday Night Football, Aaron Rodgers, yes, he still owns the Chicago Bears. Green Bay with a 15-point, 45-30 win over the Bears. And then standing-wise, top of the AFC East, New England's got a 2-game lead right now on the Bills, including a win last week. They'll meet the day after Christmas as well. So if they'd win that game, that should seal it. New England will win the division at that point, I would think. Bearing a couple more of these games to be played. Because they already beat them once. They beat them twice. I mean, have a few-game lead with only a few games to play. I mean, they could tie, but then tiebreaker rolls, head-to-head wins, well, that counts. So the Bills are going to be looking at as a wild card for the playoffs, it looks like. Miami's still in the mix, though, at 6-7. They are. Somehow have found a way to get to 6-7 here. They were off this past week, but they've won, 5 in a row? So, keeping out for the Dolphins, potentially as a wild card too, but I don't think they make it. Not right now. But we'll see. But for sure, it's going to be the Patriots and Bills in the playoffs. Dolphins are questionable right now. And then in the AFC North, anybody could still win that division. And like I said, with the tie for the Steelers, is either going to help them or hurt them. No in between. Because that tie could be a win, but also could be a loss. So it's sort of helping them right now, even though it's hurting them because they're still in last place. But they still have to play, after being swept by the Bengals this year, the Browns and Bengals in the final 2 weeks of the year. So if they can take care of business the next 4 games, they play all AFC opponents as well who are in the playoff picture in the Titans, Chiefs, Browns, and Ravens. Take care of business. I'm not saying win out, but they can take care of business, potentially get some help. Pittsburgh might be in the playoffs. I don't know if that's as the division winner or as a wild card, but we'll see. But Baltimore's atop at 8-5 right now, followed by both the Browns and Bengals, who still have to play each other once more as well. They're both 7-6, and then Pittsburgh's at 6-1. The AFC South, it's Tennessee and Indy, as both Houston and Jacksonville have been eliminated. And just as it is in the East, 9-4 and 7-6, the Titans have a 2-game lead with a head-to-head win over the Colts as well. But they'll still have to play, I do believe, by the end of the year. So that should be interesting to see how that finishes out. AFC West, big game on Thursday night with the Chiefs and Chargers. We'll have live watch-along reactions live here on YouTube then. But if Kansas City wins, they should hold on, I would think, to win the division. The Raiders have lost a few in a row now following their win at Dallas on Thanksgiving. They're right there with Miami. They're questionable to get in. They're not going to play the day after Christmas as they did last year by any means, but I mean, they already did meet this year, but not this late in the year. They won't again because they're not, of course, division opponents. Right now, I don't think they're going to get it, unfortunately. However, the Broncos are sitting at 7-6. They're a lot like Pittsburgh, but Pittsburgh has a head-to-head win, but Pittsburgh also has a tie. So we'll see if Denver gets in. They're questionable right now too. I think the Chargers will get in. It'll probably be as a wild card, but if they win Thursday, they're both 9-5, and then they went to Kansas City and won this year. So if they'd have a 2-0 record against Kansas City this year, I mean, head-to-head wins have to speak for something, as mentioned, and they will, tiebreaker-wise, whether they'll make it as a division winner or as a wild card going into the postseason. We'll see. But Kansas City's going to be there for sure, barring any unforeseen setback. Chargers should be as well. So, I mean, you're 7 AFC teams. If I'd have to pick who's making the playoffs, I mean, you're 7 from 1 to 7 with the only top seed getting a bye. Big 4th and 1, though, for the Cardinals right now. They're going to go for it, handoff up the middle. And James Conner, he's not going to get it. No, he's short. He's a half yard short. He did not get it. That's another turnover on downs. That's 2 turnovers and 2 turnover on downs by the Cardinals. And, yeah, that's probably 2 field goals they probably could have kicked too. Especially the first one. Maybe not this one because it would have been a very long field goal, longer than the 55 they had from earlier. But still, no, he didn't get that. That's turnover on downs. That's Ram football with a 10-point lead with 5 minutes to play. So they can just run the ball and work the clock, make Arizona call their timeouts. This game's going to be over here before too long. Along with if they'd score, add to their lead, whether it's a field goal, let alone a touchdown, game's over. So come down to the wire here. But LA looks like they'll pick up the win over the Cardinals. And then they'll split this year. And Arizona will fall to 3-3 at home, even though they're undefeated 7-0 on the road. Back to them in the playoffs. The NFC play picture in a second. Talking about the AFC right now. I'd probably want to be on the road playing. Because, I mean, you've already won on the road this year rather than 500 at home. And they're going to drop. I mean, they'd get a home playoff game as the 2, 3, or 4 seed, but they're going to fall with a loss out of the top spot, and that'll go to Green Bay because of the head-to-head win back late October. But we'll finish up here in a minute. But right now, I mean, officially 1 to 7 in the AFC. It's New England, Tennessee, and Kansas City. But New England has the head-to-head over the Titans a couple weeks back. I don't believe they play the Chiefs. So one of those 3 teams is going to get the 1, it looks like. Baltimore the Chargers, the Colts, and Bills round out the 7, followed by the Browns, Bengals, Broncos, Steelers, Raiders, and Dolphins, all right now in the mix, in the playoff hunt. So it'll be a wild finish down the stretch, to say the least. NFC-wise, like I said, NFC East, Dallas with a 3-game lead on both Washington and Philly, a 5-game lead on the Giants. Giants are done for. Joe Judge reported earlier, they're going to be bringing him back, but I still wouldn't be shocked if they fire him after this year because it just hasn't worked out. It was a questionable hire to begin with, but, Giants don't have Eli anymore. Saquon's not really doing a whole lot. The Giants are still the Giants, but they aren't who they were when they had Tom Coughlin in charge and Eli Manning playing quarterback for them, when they were winning Super Bowls and beating Tom Brady and the Patriots, in which you can see the 42 and 46 Super Bowls. And right now, the Man of the Arena documentary on ESPN Plus, but those, along with the Eagles Super Bowl loss, are the only 3 Super Bowls Tom Brady's ever lost. All 2 NFC East teams. So now only he has to play the Cowboys and the Skins, the Washington football team, to lose a few more. But right now, unless it be Dallas, I don't see that happening. But it can happen because he's in the NFC now with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. He'd have to go back to the AFC. So 2nd and 4, they run it. They're going to run the ball and work the clock. They don't have to snap it now until under 4 to play. Another 1st down and 10. New set of downs here. On Raw, okay, we have the main event of Lashley and Big E commencing with interference from both Rollins and Owens, and there's a table set up in the corner. So it looks like we're going to have a fatal 4-way when it's all said and done after all this tonight. And a decent show, nothing spectacular. 3 Bobby Lashley matches against all 3 of his opponents now at day 1, if it does become a fatal 4-way officially. But handoff from Stafford and nowhere for Sony Michel to go. Be 2nd down and 10. And the Cardinals are going to call one of their 2 remaining timeouts with 3:44 to play. They'll still have the 2-minute warning, so they might get the ball back, but a field goal's going to win it. Touchdown for sure. They're still down 10, though, so they'd have to score quick. Get an onside kick. Back to the turnovers. Turn it over twice with the interceptions. They capitalized 2 scores. You wouldn't be in this situation to begin with, but then not kicking it on 4th and 2 and deciding to go for it when you could have had a chip shot field goal is going to cost the Cardinals tonight, it looks like, because they have that field goal. All they need would be a touchdown if they get the ball back here to tie it up to force overtime. So it's the small little things when it all dwindles down. No, but Dallas, it looks like they're going to win the division. But then Washington and then Philly's right there too. I think Washington would have a better shot than the Eagles, but it could be either teams. But in the end, I don't think it's going to be either team, honestly. Minnesota's playing some good football. They got away from the run Thursday night. Of the 2, it'll be Washington over Philly, I think. But Minnesota's going to be there. They got a couple more primetime games coming up. The Bears are going to be eliminated in the North, so they don't have to worry about them. But Minnesota, might get eliminated too, because look at this NFC West. And then you still have the Falcons and Saints, along with the Panthers, 2 6-7 and a 5-8 team, all on the hunt too. And then, but this NFC West, potentially if Seattle keeps winning, it's all going to take care of itself. And Lashley does end up winning 1, 2, 3. So with the interference, and then Lashley wins. So it is now a fatal 4-way at day 1. So they're making him out to be a monster. He's unstoppable. The almighty one, Bobby Lashley, is now entered into the triple threat WWE Championship matchup to make it a fatal 4-way against Kevin Owens, Seth Rollins, and the WWE Champion and Big E, who he just pinned after pinning and defeating the way he made Rollins tap out, or Owens tap out, and he pinned Rollins and then Big E. And then Lashley wins over Big E here to close the show as well. So yeah, fatal 4-way at day 1 for the WWE Championship. As thought, whether triple threat or fatal 4, okay. How the hell the ref not see that? MVP caught in the ring and hit Big E in the back of the knee with his club. His cane, his walking stick. And the ref was standing there right there looking at him. How the hell didn't you see that? Rams are going to punt. Cardinals are going to get back. No timeouts. Under 3 to play. And they'll need a touchdown. Oh, probably wishing they had that field goal right now. Because a touchdown will tie it. But then they'd have, if they even do score, kick an onside kick to kick a field goal then to tie it at 30 to force OT. A touchdown to win it though. At that point too. No, but it was the Bobby Lashley Monday Night Raw show tonight. 3 wins for him as the crowd's gonna exit. Yeah, they're going to go over the NFC playoff picture right now on TV, but we're going to finish up here in a second with it and then preview next week too, and then sign off once we go final. And once again, thank you for tuning in and listening. But yeah, Lashley with a win over Kevin Owens, Seth Rollins, and Big E tonight. And the stipulation was if he won all 3, he'd be entered into the WWE Championship matchup. And he won all 3, so it'll now be a fatal 4-way. No Finn Balor, but Bobby Lashley. Thought it was going to be a triple threat. They add Owens in. Okay, it is. Maybe a fatal 4-way still. Not Finn Balor, but it's Bobby Lashley. It's now a fatal 4-way officially. It'll be Big E defending his WWE Championship on January the 1st, WWE Day 1 pay-per-view, against Seth Rollins, Kevin Owens, and now the almighty, unstoppable Bobby Lashley. So that does it for Monday Night Raw. NXT 2.0 tomorrow night. Won't watch because I haven't watched in 3 months. And then SmackDown on Friday. They'll have, 2 more Raws and SmackDowns the next couple weeks before the new year for the Day 1 pay-per-view. So I'll have live watch-along reactions then as well, so be sure to tune back in. But here tonight, Monday Night Football to conclude as well. Cardinals down 10. 30-20 with under 3 to play. 2:16 officially, 2-minute warning to come. They have a 3rd and 12 here. They got to convert. Murray caught by Hopkins, and they'll have a 4th and about 9 with 2 minutes to play from the 14-yard line. And the difference is back to the 2 interceptions of turnovers that they capitalized on. Okay? But if they don't turn the ball over, you're not even in this situation, and you're going to try to close this game out with a win rather than try to come back and win it, okay, at 20-16. But you're down 10, 2 minutes to play, 30-20 on Monday Night Football at home against the Rams. You're going to be, with a loss, 500 at home and undefeated on the road, so I'd want to go on the road in the playoffs once again if I'm Arizona, which they'll probably get 1 home playoff game, but if they can't even win that, they won't even get the chance to go on the road then at that point. It's going to be back. They have a big 4th down. Ball game. Final play of the game potentially coming up when we return. They have no timeouts. They get the hell out of bounds too. But they got to go. They get tackled inbounds. And you can't celebrate on a big 1st down late in the game with no time left. As this game's coming back down to the final play. It's back to the field goal that they should have kicked on 4th and 2. Decided to go for it, didn't get it. 2 turnovers that led to 2 touchdowns, 14 points. Let's do the math. They win by 4. And then, or leading by 4 and hoping to win, and a win's a win. LA's going to take it on the road, and they'll split with the win. But then 2 turnover rundowns. The last one, okay, yeah, you had to go for it. The first one, though, no, not really. You should have kicked it. Down 7 if you make it. You need a touchdown then on this drive just to tie it. Not to score, cut it, hope to get an onside kick to get in field goal range with no time remaining and no timeouts. With a field goal, a tie to force overtime, let alone win the damn thing. It's the small details. It's the small things that are going to hurt the Cardinals here tonight, it looks like. Should have kicked it. But you can't turn the ball over either and still expect to be in the spot to win. So, we'll see if they can convert or if the Rams are going to hold and take a few knees, and then we hit the final score. But back to the standings. Yeah, it's Dallas, Green Bay, Tampa Bay, and Arizona top the divisions. And Arizona's still going to be at top of the West, but with a loss, they'll drop to 2 or 3 with head-to-head with Tampa Bay, who they haven't played. Yeah, they did play, didn't they? No, they didn't. Not yet, and they won't. Because Arizona next week, as Murray somehow completes to Christian Kirk, big first down, they got to go. You got to hurry up and go. Yeah, the Cardinals play at the Lions next Sunday. Whereas the Rams, if they win tonight, they'll get to 9-4. They host Seattle next Sunday afternoon at home. And that was the game, of course, Russell Wilson went down with his finger injury back early October. So, that should be a good one. That'll be America's Game of the Week, along with Green Bay and Baltimore, and we'll see if Lamar Jackson plays or not. Yeah, Arizona with a loss if they do lose. Try to stay alive for now. Finds Christian Kirk for first down, 38-yard line. Minute 33 to play. Rams call timeout. You could cook a field goal here. I mean, if you can score a touchdown, score a touchdown. But if you have to settle for 3, kick your onside kick, then you're going to need a touchdown to tie it. But, I mean, you go either way. But 1st and 10 from 39. Arizona will fall out of the top spot with a loss. And it's going to be almost picked off inside the 10, incomplete. 2nd and 10, minute 27 to go. A little underthrown, intended for DeAndre Hopkins. So, yeah, Green Bay with Arizona's loss. They do lose. We'll go to number 1. And then both Arizona and Tampa Bay will be 10-3. But same records. Tiebreaker-wise, they haven't played. They won't play. It'll go by win percentage, even though will be the same. And that ball's almost picked off. Oh, my God. Who the hell are you throwing to? Kyler Murray's seems like wanting to lose this game for the Cardinals right now. Who the hell are you throwing to? There's nobody there. Completely underthrown. Looked like he was going for Hopkins, or A.J. Green, excuse me. And Green was looking at him. Murray threw it, but then Green started to run again. And it was almost picked off. Incomplete, 3rd down and 10 from 39. Yeah, Green Bay's there. Minnesota. Chicago's done for, I think. Justin Fields has played all right this year, but not great. Matt Nagy's going to get fired. I think you could tell last night how his expression was after they lost. He knows he's getting fired now because they can't beat the Packers. Because Aaron Rodgers owns them. So, well, shouldn't Aaron Rodgers make the decision on whether Matt Nagy's going to get fired then, since he owns them? 1st and 10 from the 28. Minute 18 and counting the play. Murray pump fakes, rolling out near side. And he'll get 2 on a keeper. Tampa's there. They're going to win the South, and then I don't think really anybody else out of the South is going to make it, but maybe one as a wild card, but we'll see. It's going to be coming down to the NFC West, I think, for the wild cards. I do, because one's going to win the division, and then we might get all 3, for all we know, making it. If Seattle would do something, but yeah, it'll be interesting. And then, but there's still a lot of football to be played. I'll end it on that. There's still a lot of football to be played. So we'll see what gives. So I play the game on the side on paper, side on the field. But that's play a pitcher for the most part right now. But next week, timeout Rams. They host Seattle. As mentioned earlier, they show this upcoming remaining 4 games. And then, yeah, Arizona's going to go to Motown, take on the Lions. They should win that. They're undefeated on the road. That'll be their next to last road game of the year. They'll also have to go to Dallas week 17. That should be a good game. No, the division is not. I'm just not talking about that. Yeah. All 4 teams potentially could make the playoffs, depending on what happens. Got 2nd and 9, 113 counting to play from the 27. Murray deep in the end zone, and it's going to be incomplete. Almost picked off for the 3rd time on this drive by the Rams. Incomplete, 3rd and 9. But next week we'll begin on Thursday with Thursday Night Football. Chiefs, Chargers in a crucial AFC West showdown. We'll have 2 AFC matchups on Saturday. Raiders, Browns, Patriots, Colts will have the latter of the 2. So we'll have watch longer action on Thursday, Saturday Night Football as well, and then Sunday afternoon with the Titans and Steelers. But also next Sunday, Panthers, Bills. Cardinals will head to Detroit, take on the Lions, coming off a Bronco loss yesterday. Jets, Dolphins, Cowboys, Giants, Washington, and Philly, Tennessee, Pittsburgh. Also, Houston, Jacksonville. Somebody's going to have to win that game unless they tie. Murray goes down on the sack, and they'll have a 4th and long now under a minute to play. No timeouts for either team. They're going to kick it. They're going to run the field goal unit on, kick the field goal. You probably should have had the field goal already, but you went for it and you don't. Now here comes Matt Prater. He's 2 for 2, 3rd time's a charm. This officially from 49 yards out. And if he makes it, okay, onside kick, misses it, game's over. Kicks up and good. 30-23. Now, you probably still would have kicked it to make it 30-26 if you had the field goal from before, which they didn't. Make it a 4-point deficit, still kick the onside kick. Touchdown wins it rather than you don't have the field goal now from before. You have the field goal now. 7-point deficit, get the onside kick, which Baltimore did yesterday, but they, couldn't move the ball then at that point. And then ended up losing by 2 at Cleveland, team they defeated. 2 weeks prior, Arizona beat LA on the road earlier this year. Matt Prater in his 15th seasons, 3 of 12 attempting onside kicks all time. So, not really that good, but, I mean, percentage-wise, what's that? Like 33%, 34%. So, no timeouts. Can't ice them on an onside kick. Get reset. And if LA recovers, game's over. Cardinals recover. They kick it up the middle of the field. It hits the Rams, but then the Cardinals recover. The Arizona Cardinals have recovered the onside kick. Cardinals say they recover. We'll see what the refs say. 34 seconds. Touchdown's going to tie the game. But just imagine if they have the field goal from earlier, they score, they win now, not go to overtime. But then go to overtime is a whole new game. Cardinals recover the onside kick. Wow. And this will come down to the final play of the game once again tonight. What a weekend it's been in the NFL. And hopefully we'll have a good weekend next week too. Like I said, Houston and Jacksonville will play. Somebody's going to have to win that game. Cincy's going to go to Mile High to take on the Broncos. Falcons, 49ers. Seahawks, Rams. Packers, Ravens. So 2 good 4 o'clock kicks. And then Sunday Night Football will be Saints, Bucks. Monday Night Football next week, Vikings, Bears. But now, with 34 seconds to play, down 7, needing a touchdown to tie the game to force overtime, just as the Bills did yesterday as well. The Cardinals have a 1st and 10 from the 48-yard line. And Murray drops back. Got to tuck it and run. Got to get it the hell out of bounds. Get out of bounds. Coming back there, there's a flag on the play. It's going to be a hold. 10 yards, they'll replay the down. 1st and 20, back at the 38. Wow. Just shooting themselves in the foot again. Penalties, and just wait, there's probably a turnover to end it because those have killed them all night long. They don't turn the ball over. They're not even in this position right now. The Rams are hoping to come back and tie it to force overtime because the Cardinals probably still kicked that field goal to go up 7 at 23-16 because the 2 interceptions, that was 14 points. So do the math. There you go. And Yeah, the turnovers, and then, I mean, it would have been nice for Arizona if they would have had the field goal from earlier, because a touchdown here for them would win it rather than tie it to force OT. But, I mean, they're still in position to force overtime. So, 1st and 20 following the hold, got another whistle and another flag and a false start. They'll have a 1st and 25. They're going the wrong way. 1st and 25 from the 33. They go forward, not backwards. Because they do something good, they're starting to act up again and cost themselves. That's all they're doing.
I think on the last possession, if you kick that field goal, now you're in like a 2-minute situation. If you have an extra minute, you have about a minute and a half in this situation, which would be a very different scenario for the Cardinals. Now you're trying to get this ball. You've got to get it to the outside and stop the clock.
So we'll update final stats and scores once we go final, but 1st and 25, following a few penalties. Murray going to roll out, avoid a sack, dumps it off, complete to James Conner. You got to go. You have no timeouts, clock's rolling. He's hurt. That's going to be a 10-second runoff. There might be a couple seconds left. Okay, he gets up. We got one play. And a Hill Murray again to tie it. No, Von Miller gets to him. Almost brings him down. Time's expired. And then Murray does go down on the sack. And guess who? Aaron Donald waves goodbye. And the Rams win it on the final play of the game on a sack, taking down Kyler Murray to defeat the Cardinals by 7-30-23. Arizona still top the West, but Green Bay is now the number 1 seed in the NFC with Arizona's loss. So what a game. The turnovers cost the Cardinals. And James Conner, as he was slow to get up on the previous play, he got up, they got the ball off. He's hurt. He's down. He's injured. He's slow to get up here. They're checking on him. Hopefully he's okay. Post-game handshake, of course, Sean McVay and Cliff Kingsbury. As Arizona falls to 10-3, LA advances 9-4. They split this season as Arizona went on the road and beat LA back in October. Here mid-December, the Rams come to the desert and beat the Cardinals. The pressure, the sacks, 4 official sacks tonight. They were able to convert on 3rd down for the most part, but the sacks, the turnovers, not kicking it when they should have, ended up costing them the game. More so not the turnovers, because 2 interceptions led to 14 points, and they lose by 7 when they would have had a 4-point, then 7-point lead if they still kick it like they did to close it out, with LA having to drive then rather than them having to drive to tie it to force overtime. But they would have kicked it on the 4th and 2 rather than going for it. When they kicked it just a minute ago, only down 4, touching on this drive, would have won them the game rather than, well, wouldn't have tied, but they still lose. So credit to the Rams. They capitalized off turnovers when they needed to. And Stafford lit them up. 23-30 for 267 and 3 passing touchdowns. He was also sacked 3 times. So, like I said earlier, whoever wins up front in the trenches line of scrimmage, run the ball better, as LA did as well. 20 carries for Sonny Michel, 79 yards rushing. Van Jefferson 1 for 10. I mean, Connor 13 carries, 31 yards, and 2 scores. But it was the turnovers. And it was the pressure, but it was the turnovers. The 2 interceptions that cost Arizona, as both Stafford and Cooper Kupp now get interviewed by Lisa Salters on the field post-game. Stafford finished 23-30, 267 and 3 scores. 1 to Beckham, 1 to Jefferson, and 1 to Kupp. As Stafford once again, well, first off in the loss, Kyler Murray, 32 of 49, 344 yards passing, had 2 interceptions though, and that was the difference. It was. The turnovers, penalties, and turnovers killed the Arizona Cardinals tonight. They're better on the road than they are at home. And come playoff time, I mean, I'd want to go to Arizona. I would. Because for the most part, you know you're going to probably win. Like, it doesn't seem right now, even though playoff football is different than the regular season, it doesn't seem like it's going to be that hard of a spot to win at. But if I'm hosting Arizona, I probably want to be playing them at home. But Good game, no doubt about it, on Monday Night Football, down to the wire. Final play, third straight stream this weekend, week 14. Blowout Sunday for the most part yesterday, close games, 2 overtime finishes. One score game here, and the Rams win 30-23. So thanks for tuning in and listening tonight and all weekend long. Hope everybody now next weekend as well. But your final stats and scores are as follows. With Kyler Murray finishing 32-49 for 344 yards passing and 2 interceptions, which ended up being crucial and the difference in the loss. But the Ram win by 7. The Rams had a better rushing attack, even though James Conner did have 2 rushing touchdowns. Finished 13-31 for 2 scores. Also had 9 catches for 94 yards receiving. But A.J. Green led the way, 7 for 102. DeAndre Hopkins had 5 catches, 54 yards. Zach Ertz, 5 for 42. Christian Kirk had 3 catches, 86 yards. Rondell Moore, 3 for 5. But then Matthew Stafford in the win, picking apart. He finished what the final score was in his attempts to completions. Rams win 30-23. Or completions to attempts, and he finished 23-30 for 287 and 3 scores. Sonny Michel, 20 carries, 79 yards rushing, and then Odell Beckham Jr. along with Cooper Kupp led the way. They missed Tyler Higbee big, but they still found a way to win because they capitalized off of 2 interceptions from Kyler Murray, which won them the game. Cooper Kupp, 13 catches, 123 yards receiving, and a touchdown. Beckham, 6 for 77 and a score. Van Jefferson had 2 catches for 58 yards. 52 of those were on the touchdown. And then Kendall Blanton, who stepped up in Higbee's absence because of COVID, had 2 catches, 29 yards receiving. But, the difference was the interceptions by Kyler Murray. He cost them the game. He turned the ball over too many times. And the Rams were able to capitalize, and that's what won them the game. Your final score, 30-23 here tonight on Monday Night Football, as the Rams win for the first time on the road since Halloween. They are now 9-4, still in second place in the West, behind the Cardinals, who are in first place. But the Packers are the number 1 seed now in the NFC, with the Cardinal loss because of the head-to-head win Green Bay has over the Cards back late October. So it's going to be a wild finish these next 4 weeks down the stretch to close the regular season before the playoffs begin. Arizona's going to go to Detroit to take on the Lions. That should be a win for them. And then the Rams already beat the Seahawks early October. That was the game, of course. Russell Wilson went down with his finger injury. But he's back. The Seahawks are, for the most part, red hot right now. Even after a loss a few weeks back on the road against Washington Monday Night Football. They've won a few in a row. And should be a good one next Sunday with Seattle and LA from Southern California. But we'll see what happens over the next week or so and in the weeks to come with who wins and who loses, and, of course, who makes and who doesn't make the playoffs. But I'll have coverage. I'll have live watch along reactions live on YouTube, as always, so be sure to tune back in. And, that'll do it for myself, your host, Encyclopedia Sports. Cool and Luke 96 live here on YouTube this evening. So once again, thanks for tuning in and listening. Be sure to like, follow, and subscribe on social media. Links in the description below. Hit that thumbs up button. Share. Check questions, comments, super chats, super stickers. Always greatly appreciated for watching on demand on replay. But hopefully we'll tune back in on Thursday for more action in the NFL with the Chiefs and Chargers, along with next weekend, Saturday night, Patriots Colts, and next Sunday afternoon, Titans Steelers. Live watch along reactions live right here on YouTube. So just be sure to like, follow, and subscribe. Hit that notification bell next to it as well, so stay up to date. Be sure to go check out my college football bowl game, bowl season preview as well. That should now be, 3 videos prior to this, with the 3 streams this weekend. We'll have 3 next weekend, and then get into Christmas. So hopefully everyone has a Merry Christmas, Happy New Year as well. But a week and a half before the holiday, here this Monday night, December 13th, on Monday Night Football. The LA Rams capitalize off of 2 Kyler Murray interceptions and defeat the Cardinals on the road by your final score once again of 30-23. So the Rams win it by 7, 30-23 at Arizona on Monday Night Football. football. Thanks for listening. Be sure to like, follow, and subscribe as always on social media. Links in the description below.